flow, better find a cheat code. On my phone, now I'm in my zone. Man, it looks better than it did before. I said the play don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game, say it now, and let the whole world watch. I said the play don't stop, just keep it going, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game. Go ahead, let them talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to AMD presents Sky Esports Grand Slam. Gaming partner Logitech G, broadcasting partner Loco. This is going to be me, Darshita, and yes, I'm gonna have my amazing co-caster. That's gonna be Raider. So, how are you doing, Raider? Once again.
Well, I'm glad to have you as my co-caster, and eventually we are going to enjoy a lot of stuff which is going to be here right now. We have been past 3 days. Well, a lot of enjoyment was there, a lot of carnage was there, a lot of fights were there. Points table has gone up and down, but eventually we are going to see some other teams which are also trying to climb the stats right now. But diving straight into the match scenario, we are going to have 6 matches of the semi-finale today, and the teams are going to fight it out. The teams are going to head into the battle eventually, and the map schedule will be there for you guys. Leaderboard, of course, will be there, of course, for you guys. So eventually you guys can enjoy all about that. So yeah, I am pretty glad to watch how the day is going to go.
It's the second last day of the semi-finales. I mean, one last day is left. If we do not count what this day has to do entirely, we just have one remaining day for all of these players to give their utmost best. It's time to give your level best, put all your efforts that you can, or eventually lose everything that you have just accomplished by it. I mean, you know me, right? You know everything that I mean to say right now. Either you do it right now, or if you are not able to do it, you are just not going to get qualified for the grand finals of AMD presents Sky Esports Grand Slam. And that's going to be a huge loss.
I mean, it's totally a do or die situation at this point. You have to do it or you have to go home at this point, because 24 teams were there, of course. 6 teams qualified from the quarter finale, and 18 teams were invited into the lobby. Then eventually you are going to see only 10 top 10 teams which are going to be in the grand finale, where they're going to face teams like Seoul, teams like VLT, formerly known as IND, Godlike will be there, 7C came in, and Team TSM are going to head out in the battle. So eventually these top 10 teams have to grind a lot and eventually get into the battle. But before that, we are left with 2 more days, and let's say 12 more matches to grind, 12 more matches to put their carnage ahead, put their let's say muster all the courage which they have, put all the experience which they have from past 3 days, and all the courage they are getting from the fights right now. Eventually, if they are not leading the leaderboard at this point, I don't think they are going to tabletop the teams which are at the bottom of the list. But yes, of course, they can be in the top 10 list, and there might be some new faces coming up in the top 10 list, and we are going to enjoy a lot. After the day of number 4, I guess we are going to get a clearer view of top 3 teams which are going to get qualified.
I do agree with that. Yeah. I mean, yes, today is going to be a day which can turn all the table around. You can see a new team coming out of nowhere and just leading the charts, or maybe the team that is already right now leading the charts. But what are we fighting for? What are we really fighting for? That's going to be a huge prize pool of 15 lakh rupees. The champions of AMD Sky Esports Grand Slam will get that bragging rights of 8 lakhs. The second place, 3 lakhs, and the third place, that's going to be 1,50,000 for them.
Wow, look at the prize pool distribution at this point, guys. A total massive prize pool is going to be 15 lakhs rupees as per we have discussed. But eventually the MVP is also going to get a huge chunk of money. That's going to be 1 lakh rupees. Teams with most finishes, well, the most aggressive team of the lobby is going to get 50,000 rupees. But this is going to be very amazing to watch, that which team is going to get the bragging rights of 8 lakh rupees and eventually getting the Grand Slam into their courtyard. So let's see what eventually happens, because there are still 6 more teams. We have to see how they are going to fight it out in the battle. Grand finale will be there, but before that we are going to see the carnage of semi-finale, in which the teams are going to head out into the battle. And let me tell you a little bit about the grand finale, let's say semi-finale situation coming up. So the top 6 teams from the qualifier, or should I say quarter finale, was there, and 18 teams were invited into the semi-finale. They were split into the 3 groups, in which 8 teams were there in each group. and they headed into the battle of span of let's say 5 days, and a total number of matches were there 30. So yeah, 20 matches for each and every team. Let me tell you about the whole situation. So yeah, it's going to be very amazing to watch that how these teams are going to deal with the fights, how these teams are going to put their carnage into the perspective, because now leaderboard is going to be very impressive to watch. And leaderboard, about the leaderboard, well, let me tell you guys, we can just go ahead and follow the SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM page on Instagram, where you can get the leaderboard, and eventually our production end will also show you the leaderboard. So wait ahead guys, let's see what happens.
Talking about the leaderboard right now, I mean, we do have the point system set on the screen. This is the start and end of everything. I mean, whatever you do in the entire map depicts on your leaderboard completely. But this is what is gonna matter you the most. The first placement point that you get is 15 points. Second for 12, third is 10, fourth is 8, fifth is 6, sixth is 4, seventh is 2, 8th to 12th is 1, 13 to 20 is 0. But you get one frag for yourself. You finish one player, you get one finish point for that. And trust me, it is important, right? Just getting 15 and 12 points on the second or third, like 12 or 10 points on the second and third position, and not getting anything on that finishes side. I mean, no, you're not doing that, right? You are not doing that. It's not just about qualifying for the grand finales, but it's about performing and qualifying for grand finale.
Indeed. Absolutely, we have seen some teams which are trying to get that position point, but then eventually the flag is not there, the aggression, the finish points are not there. For example, if we talk about team Tactical Esports, yesterday they did a very good job at actually securing the hashtag second position in the map of Miramar. If I'm not wrong, that was match number 2 of day number 3. It was very interesting to watch that how they were able to actually get that position point, but then they had only 2 flags into their perspective. Even after getting the second position, they were at hashtag 5 in terms of the match standings. Well, these are the things I guess these teams have to be aware about, Darshada.
I do agree with you completely. So yeah, that's going to be the primary, the primary point system that we do have. But talking about the teams, the playing teams, we do have these total of 24 teams playing, which are eventually split into 3 groups: Group A, Group B, and Group C. Each group comprises of 2 teams that are qualified. So that 2 teams from Group A right now we have is Entity Gaming and Team Insane Esports, where we do have team 6 invited teams that are Team Revenant, Team EXO, Rivalry Esports, R Esports, Celsius Esports, and OR Esports. Group B, the two qualified teams right now are Revenge Esports and Team Mayavi, whereas the other 6 invited teams are going to be Team X-Park, Hyderabad Hydras, Reckoning Esports, Oldwood, Orangutan, and Team Blind. Whereas Group C, well, that's up to you, Raider.
Well, in the Group 3, you can see one of those teams which have actually acquired a winner chicken. That's going to be Team UDOG India, qualified from the quarter finale, and Team Nugget also trying their level best. Meanwhile, we have Team Invited. That's going to be that the teams' names are going to be Team 8-Bit, Team Tactical Esports, Skylightz Gaming will be there for you guys, Enigma Gaming. Then we also going to see Team Forever and Team Marcos Gaming. Well, these teams are trying their level best at this point to get that top 10 position points. Top 10 leaderboard stats also, because if I'm not wrong, leaderboard will be there anytime soon, and we are going to enjoy. We are going to see that which are those top 10 teams at this point after the day number 3 and match number 18. Well, it was very amazing to watch the carnage for past 3 days, but I guess the next upcoming 2 days, or let's say 12 matches, are going to be full of all the enjoyment, all the chaos, all the carnage which is going to be here.
I am excited. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm excited. But let's just have a quick look on the schedule as well. The very first map, Erangel, and the second map, Miramar. Well, these 2 maps repeating themselves thrice a day is something that gets me more excited. I mean, you start your day with the map of Erangel, you head towards Miramar, and somewhere down the corner down you feel like, okay, the third map is going to be Senok somewhere. But no, the big surprise is you need to play Erangel Miramar, and Erangel Miramar. That's going to be the schedule, the 6 matches that are going to be played today.
Well, this is the schedule as per we have discussed, but eventually if I can see that we have match number 1 coming up very soon. That's going to be the map of Erangel, but eventually in that map you are going to see the group number A and B fighting it out, where you can see some teams, some few great teams which are trying to retaliate at this point, trying to actually get that point stable into their perspective. Well, that's going to be teams like Revenant, EXO, Rivalry Esports, R Esports will be there, Team Celsius Esports is going to be there, and for sure OR Esports is there, Entity Gaming trying to retaliate, Insane Esports, one of those very aggressive teams which are trying to retaliate from group A. Well, they are going to head out into the battle with Group B, in which we are going to see like teams like X-Park, Hyderabad Hydras, Reckoning Esports, Old Road Orangutan, Blind, Revenge Esports, and Team Mayavi. Out of these, let's say 16 teams, we are going to see 4 qualified teams on the quarter finale. Well, those teams are Team AGT Gaming, Insane Esports, Revenge Esports, Team Mayavi. Well, we are going to see how these qualified teams on the quarter finale are going to put their worth in the lobby, where invitee teams are going to put the carnage, trying to put that rotation, trying to put that utilities into the perspective, because eventually in the last zones, or should I say in any battle, in any 4v4 or 1v1, you are going to see some kind of great usage of utilities, some kind of great usage of TPPs, covers, gun games. Well, there is going to be a lot of things which you are going to learn, and as a caster, I'm really very glad to see this kind of lobby coming up into the fight.
A lot has already happened,
Yeah.
a lot has already happened, and a
Indeed.
lot is about to happen. I mean, we do say that it's just 1 day remaining, 2 days remaining, but
Whoa.
it's gonna be a lot more things happening. But talking about overall rankings, I mean, yes, we were excited about it, and there you go, Team Orangutan leading the charts with 162, but Team Entity this time is looking more strong, I would say. A total of 161. That's gonna be one single point difference, and you see that, right? You see that two. It's just gonna be two chicken dinners for both of the team. 73 rank points for Entity, whereas 77 for Orangutan. I mean, wow! It's just 1 point difference. Come on.
It's gonna be very amazing to watch that how teams are trying to reckon all the fights which are gonna be there. Meanwhile, if I talk about the reckoning coming up in the lobby, we are going to see Reckoning Esports at hashtag 9 with 109 points, Insane Esports coming up at hashtag 10. Well, these are the top 10 teams which are still there after the day number 3, post match number 18. Well, you are going to see that Team Insane Esports has not got even a single chicken dinner, but still they have managed to get 1 over points. Just imagine when they are going to get that winner chicken dinner and eventually gain that 15 position points. Well, I guess the tables are going to turn very, very sharply for the team. Meanwhile, if I talk about Team Exo, maintaining their sneaky climb in the lobby, they have 93 points. Revenge Esports 90 points with 1 good winner chicken dinner. UDOG India at 86 points with 1 chicken dinner. Enigma Gaming with 0 chicken dinner, they have got 84 points. And look at the stabilization between finishes points and placement point at this point, 42 for each. But then if I talk about Hyderabad Hydras, 39 and 35 for the finishes and placement respectively. Getting a 1 winner chicken dinner was very, very good for the team. And eventually Team Forever had 72 points when we talk about hashtag 17 to 24. Explain us a bit more, Darshada.
These are the teams that needs to be really careful now. From 17 to 24, it's your last chance to go to the very first side of the overall standing, or at least in the top 10. Blind Official with total of 70, Tactical with 66, X-Park with 64, Marcos with 56, Revenant 54. I mean, the highest total that we just saw right now is Team Orangutan leading the charts with a total of 162, and it's just like, look at this, like it's completely a difference of 100 points, and covering 100 points a day is not possible. You really need to be consistent enough to cover that, but what are you left with right now is just last 2 days. I mean, you perform today, you perform tomorrow, you just go back and you learn. That's all that I can say for now.
I mean, now these teams have to grind for the top, let's say 5 to 10th position, because the teams which are reigning at 1 to 5 are not going to let their position at this point. And 2 more days are left, 12 more matches are left for the teams right now, but eventually let's see how the carnage is going to set down. The first map of Erangel is going to be there anytime soon. Eventually we are going to see the first flight path, our first play zone shift, our first, let's say, carnage coming up, first battle coming up in the lobby is going to be there anytime soon. But yeah, as per we are talking about the teams which are at the bottom of the list, gaining 100 points at this location is not going to be that easy, but of course they have to do as much as they can. They have to gain as much as points they could at this location. But yeah, it's going to be very, very let's say tiring for these teams, because the teams at the table toppers list are going to maintain their form. Obviously they have to do that, but the teams at the bottom of the list are going to try their level best to come in the closure vicinity of that, let's say 5th to 6th position, 8th, 10th position. Well, let's see how the day is going to turn out. Day number 4 is going to be very amazing, of course. As per day number 3, it was very amazing, but now let's see, a new day has started, a new fight is going to start, a new strategy is going to be there, but eventually we are going to see some new faces for sure.
A new day, a fresh start. I mean, I do agree that 3 days has eventually passed, and you just have 2 remaining days. But guess what? It's a total of 12 remaining matches, out of which I guess each team gets to play 6 matches more. If I'm not really wrong, it's almost 5 to 6 matches more that a specific team gets to play now.
Matches.
Okay, 8 matches in total. 8 matches to be really pinpoint precise. But thank you so much for that, Trader. I mean, I was really confused. But yeah, 8 matches in total that a team needs to perform right now. And eventually, even out of those 8 matches, 3 matches you come up, really good, like first, second, or third. and in the remaining matches you are somewhere like in the fifth or fourth position, that works for you, right?
Yeah.
You eventually are really consistent and you get a chance to climb the stairs up. You are not falling down, and that's the best part about being consistent.
Yeah, of course. It's the best part about being consistent, but the teams at the tabletop list has to maintain a buffer at this point. Because we have seen Team Orangutan at 162 points, that was great, but eventually we have seen the runner-up team, that's going to be Team Entity, lacking behind with only 1 point. So I guess that could be a very sneaky climb, and at any time soon, in the match number 1, there could be some other team coming up at that location at the #1 leaderboard tabletopper, and then there would be a pressure into the minds of Team Orangutan that now they are actually dropping down in terms of their position, and they have to rack up some serious pressure. And so, if I'm not wrong, the teams coming up at #1 and the teams at #24, or should I say from 20 to 24, both of them are going to face some kind of pressure. One has to get the pressure to be in the tabletop list. One has to be into the pressure of getting into the tabletop list. It's gonna be very, very amazing to watch that how these teams are going to deal with the pressure, because at this point, after day number 3, it's all about the pressure. It's all about how you take the pressure and how you give a great output onto it.
I will agree to that. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be true. I've just been thinking so much lately about the points table that we witnessed right now. Somewhere we
Yeah.
saw some teams going really low on the finishes, but really high on the placement points. I mean, I don't know how do I really express that, but eventually you have to maintain a balance between both. It's just a
Of
balance
course.
between your placements and the position, the placement and the finishes that you just rackle up for yourself. If you are really looking good on the like position side, I mean, great, you are able to survive the game. But if you're what if you're not able to fight it?
Yeah.
What if suddenly out of nowhere a teams comes and stand straight front of you? What are you gonna do next?
Well,
Right.
of
So
course, you have to retaliate.
eventually, yeah, exactly. That's my whole point, right? So there are multiple what ifs. What if this is gonna happen? What if that happens? I do have this. Multiple things happening in my mind right now, and it's the second last day. So eventually, yes, the fans right now are really excited to know what's gonna happen next. So yeah, before we head into the very first map of Erangel, I really want you guys to be loving each and every team and to support your favorite team as well.
Indeed. A lot of variables are there to be get an answer for. So let's see eventually how the battle is going to be there. And let me remind you once again that this is AMD Presents SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM, in which the broadcasting partner is going to be Loco, gaming partner is going to be Logitech, and this is semi-finale of BGMI whole tournament at this point. And let me remind you once again that after match number 3 or 4, we are going to completely and exclusively shift on Loco. So make sure to be there. Make sure to actually download your Loco profile, and actually make sure to follow us on our profile. That's going to be SKYESPORTS Hindi, English, and Kannada, which is going on in the stream. So eventually, let's see that how the carnage is going to be there. Our first map is very, very awaited. I'm just waiting eagerly from the back end to get that feed and get that perspective into you guys, and then eventually cast the whole carnage which is going to be there, because of course it's a new day. We are going to see a new shift coming up in the map, and let's ask Darshita how the first play zone is going to act.
I mean, again, no, please. it's just me getting, always asked. I mean, what are you? I mean, I really agree that I'm blessed. But before just setting my expectations of the first map, we do have these 6 invited teams for the finales. That's gonna be the sides of Team VLT champions, the champions, season 1 champions of Grand Slam, Team Soul. Season 1 runner-up, Godlike Sky Sports Championship 3.0 champion, 7C Sky Sports Championship 3.0 runner-ups, TSM Mobile Open champions, and Kevin Esports, that's going to be Mobile Open runner-ups. We do have these 6 teams waiting for these top 10 teams to enter the grand finals, and just I don't feel like expressing it right now, but just an amazing match, just a one hell of a show in the grand finals.
Well, these are not just a team. They have set a marker in the community, and of course they are going to be there in the Sky Esports community in the Grand Slam finale. We are going to see teams like VLT, teams like Soul, which were the previous winner and runner-up of this Grand Slam. But then eventually, if I talk about another series of Sky Esports, that's going to be Championship 3.0, where the champions were Godlike, of course. Then runner-up was 7C Esports, which are again going to be there in the battle of the grand finale, which is going to head out for 7 amazing days. It's going to be very amazing to watch. Yeah. The carnage for 5 days is not enough, guys. We are going to see 7 more days of the grand finale, where the Sky Sports Mobile Open, which was the most recent tournament by Sky Sports, the Mobile Open, where the champions were Team GSM and the runners were Team Cayman Esports by a slight margin. Well, these teams are also going to be there. These are the top 6 teams going to head out into the battle. Eventually, we are going to enjoy whole of the carnage which these teams are going to set out. But the marker they have set out, it's going to be very amazing to watch that how these teams, these top 10 teams qualified from the quarter finale are going to retaliate, qualified from the semi-finale to be exact, are going to retaliate in the battle of grand finale. But before that, we of course have to see top 10 faces which are going to be there in the grand finale. So for that, we are going to head out into the battle of semi-finale. Day number 4, match number 1 is going to be there anytime soon.
Absolutely. Coming back to your question, I mean, you just asked me a while ago of what expectations do I have with the map of Erangel. So yeah, I just don't wish anything right now. I mean, please, I really want these players to have some breathing space for themselves. I mean, I don't want later after the tournament to just someone comes and kills me that why did you want to just say this on stream that eventually happened. So yeah, BGMI gods, please don't keep supporting me as always. But jokes apart, coming to the point, the map of Erangel, that's going to be the most important map. You're just going to start your day, start
that's it.
fourth day, and eventually if you know, right, if you are not able to perform on the very first map, your performance is low on the very first map, you eventually lose a chunk of your confidence and momentum, and I really don't want that happening with any of the teams. So yeah, the very first map, all I can say is all the best, do your best. The second last day, it's just one day for the results.
Let's take it as the day number 4, because as you are saying second last day, it's actually making me very sad that this series is going to end very soon and then we are going to head into the grand finale. I want to see these teams try to perform and try to head into the battle. Eventually it's going to be very amazing, but of course the truth is real. It's the second last day, it's day number 4 if I'm not wrong, and match number 19 will be there anytime soon. So we are going to see a lot of carnage coming up, a lot of fight coming up, but eventually all the teams are going to head into the battle. All 24 teams are going to do their best. We are saying all the best to all the 24 teams, but eventually only top 10 teams are going to put that carnage, and eventually in top 6 matches which are going to be here, only top 6 teams are going to be the winner chicken dinner. So let's see which of those 6 teams are going to lift the trophy of today's winner chicken dinner. Well, that's going to be very amazing to watch. Eventually I'm just eagerly waiting for the pain part to come in, for the match to start in, for the carnage to begin, for the first fight to be there. And then first play zone to shift, because I want to see some initial clashes at this point.
I do wish the same. I mean, we as a casters, we just sit and we just wait for some great actions on our way. So yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to drop down, get a pistol. I mean, not just a pistol, get a grenade and knock someone. I mean, show me something really interesting. Knock someone down with a vehicle. Give me some grenade actions. I've been really waiting to witness that, and if that happens, I mean, I don't know what will I be saying the next to happen, what expectations will I be keeping with each and everything happening around. But yes, this map of Erangel is said to be the most classic map of BGMI. So yeah, definitely I do wish some initial drop clashes happening, or maybe some initial fights, rotational clashes, or somewhere deep down the zone to be somewhat not favoring the players, to just make the competition more and more intense, to be very precise.
Well, one thing I'm pretty sure about, that's the competition is going to be very intense. The fights are going to be very intense at this point, because all of the teams are trying to put their courage into the demonstration. It's like the teams at the top of the list are going to be able to be, actually, let's say on the table toppers list, the pressure will be there for them to maintain that position. And the teams at the bottom of the list, they are going to try to come up and up and up and be in the top 10 list. And that is going to be the main aim of each and every team which are there right now. Teams sitting at, let's say, position from hashtag 11 to hashtag 15 are going to be very close to getting into that gap. But of course, teams at hashtag 1 to 10, they are not going to let that path come in and open for them.
Why will they? I mean, definitely, why will they, right? They just have they're just leading the charts right now, and after you are leading the charts, I really don't wish these teams to see a downfall. I mean, it's just like two situations you have. Either you are playing to get into the top 10 cards, like you're just waiting to have your name in the top 10 list, or you are waiting to have your name on the very first position.
Indeed.
You can't do both the things at one time. Either you qualify, either you perform and qualify. And if these teams are trying their level best to perform and then qualify with having, that's a different level of satisfaction you have when you qualify to the grand finales with hashtag 1, hashtag 2, or hashtag 3. I mean, trust me, that's a huge achievement for all of the players, right?
apart from lifting that trophy of let's say Grand Slam, this is also a bragging rights that yes, we qualified the semi-finale at #1, the table toppers. We were the table toppers eventually, even if we are not going to make it out in the grand finale, let's say win the grand finale, then also we have the bragging rights that yes, in the Sky Sports Grand Slam, we were the semi-finalists which were in the table toppers list. We were the #1 team. So I guess Team Orangutan, Team Entity and some other teams like let's say that's gonna be Team Exo or Insane Esports trying their level best at this point. Team 8-bit also coming from the bottom of the list. They were jumping in the let's say table toppers list. It was very amazing to watch that how Team 8-bit came up very sharply.
You say 8-bit, I just remember what happened the previous day. The map of Erangel and the way Juicy was holding that bridge. Oh man, oh man. I mean, what else do we need to see? That's the level of comeback that we are, expecting. I mean, we talk about comeback and Team 8-bit just out of nowhere into the blues came and the map of Erangel was just, written in their names, I would say. That was so beautiful to watch. And I do wish to see these kinds of comebacks happening today even.
Yeah, well, we expect some good kind of comebacks coming up at this point, but we have the map schedule again coming up. Let's talk about the map schedule, which is going to be there. Well, of course, Master Mobile is going to be there in the map of Erangel, but then eventually we are going to see the map of Miramar also, where group number C, for the first time of day number 4, is going to be there. Their first battle will be in the map of Miramar, but I'm scared about that group also.
I mean, I don't know what to say right now. I really don't know. Looking at everything, looking at everything happening, I really don't know what's gonna happen next. Trust me, the way this day goes will make our vision somewhat 50% clear. I would say somewhat 50%, not even 70 or 60% hope is what I give right now. It's just 50%. Yeah, I do agree. Top 5 or top 3 positions that these teams are securing right now are really at a safer place of qualifying, but at the end of the day, it's Erangel, Miramar playing the games, right?
Of course. It's going to be very amazing to watch that how these teams are going to retaliate at this point. But yeah, something I'm very keen about that the map of Miramar is going to bring some new clashes, some new vehicle getting stumbled, some new guy getting crushed by the vehicles, and it's going to be very crazy.
Please don't say that. I've been saying that for past 3 days, and trust me, that's happening each and every day.
It is going to happen because that's what the map of Miramar is.
Please don't be saying that.
Well, the map of Miramar is very good in terms of these things because some team is going to climb on the higher edges and then take the fight into their perspective. Eventually, they are going to crash down and just put a lot of carnage in the map of Miramar. Well, Erangel is a very good map. It's a classic map. It's a map when eventually you download the BGMI, the first ever map you play is the map of Erangel. It's very good, but eventually the kind of highs and lows, the ridges, the open ridges, fights, the grounds, which we cover in the map of, let's say, Miramar, it's very amazing to watch that how the map of Miramar is there and how the map of Miramar is going to put a lot of sadness into the faces of some teams and a lot of carnage into some favor.
Talking about this map of Miramar, I do feel like it's a beautiful garden of rose. You just have that beautiful flower of rose in your hand, and out of nowhere, the throne just cuts you. That's just one cut that gets you bleeding completely, and I just feel bad for that, and that's the reason the map of Miramar gets me going crazy. But trust me, that's the best map that you can perform on. So yeah, that's going to be the case. But please take me to the map of Erangel. I'm just waiting so patiently and so excitingly. I mean, why do you need to test the patience of casters as well? Please take me. I'm just so excited right now.
Well, I'm also eagerly waiting for the map to come in at this point. We are going to see some new shifts, of course. I'm just eagerly waiting for some new initial clashes. Look, after that, the fights will be there. We are here, ready for the fights, but I just want to see some new clashes coming up, some new head zone clashes. Because when the zone is going to shift in some other directions, let's say if the flight path is going in the western direction, teams going for the eastern drops such as Milta Power and some other drops such as like, let's say, Asnaya, Kamishki, Severny, it's going to be very far away for these teams to reach ahead. And then some new clashes will be there in the areas of Pochinki, in the, let's say, closer vicinity of Military Base Bridge, and then Georgipol will be contested, Vrozok will be contested, and then some new fights will be there, of course. And that is something I'm very eager to wait about, but a lot of eagerness is there, a lot of variables are going to be there in the map. I'm just pretty excited to see that day number 4 has been started, but let's officially start it when the map is going to be there.
The past 3 days, the only thing that we as a casters have observed is just players getting down to their primary drop locations. Yeah, if they get a chance, the fly path is favoring them. They get a chance. They are just
Yeah.
getting down to their primary drop locations. Next, they are doing is just finding a great compound to loot with, putting their hands in everything that they need, and that's a time for rotation. But eventually, something new there's something new that is happening, and that's going to be right. The fly path not favoring them, they have to get down, they have to find a vehicle, and that's where the problem arises. You
Well,
don't find a vehicle, or either two of the teams go in for one specific vehicles. We see three players of different teams sitting in one specific vehicles, and you already know what happens next, right?
well, the carnage will be there, and of course, guys, we have a surprise for you. There we go. The flight path is here. Let's enjoy the whole carnage coming up. We have the flight path starting from Lipovka vicinity, and it is going to end in the deep down areas of Quarry, starting from eastern end, going all the way to the western end, and the carnage is going to start very, very soon. Look at that. Some teams are going to the area of Lipovka when we have Milta also contested. Milta Power is also gonna be there. Teams are trying to reach all the other locations where they're going to get some good casualties. Good fights are gonna be there, and I guess it's a pretty 55 and 45 ratio of the map division going on in the lobby. So I guess each and every team is going to get their preferred drop locations, and I guess some clashes will be avoided at this point.
Decent fly path, a complete decent fly path is what we have right now. Yeah, you do get a great chance of going to your specific drop location, but there you go. The sides of Team Revenant and EXO, they are really like a neighborhood to each other right now. Looking forward to an initial drop clash. I'm not sure whether it's gonna happen, because I do see some players down there with vehicles. But once again, the very first play zone is all set to your screens. That's going to be the areas of Lipovka, Yasna, Poliana, Rozok, Miltash, Shelter, Novorupnoi, and Military Base.
We have the first play zone also coming up. Look at that. Eastern shift is going to be there, but I guess it is pretty much, let's say, eastern central trend. But I would love to see that when the zone, when the 6th or 7th zone is going to hit, the zone should be there in Milta, or let's say the bridges area of Novoripnoi. It's going to be very amazing to watch and how the carnage is going to be there. But eventually, I guess we have a clash coming up. There might be a clash in the area of Georgipur Northwest cities, and I guess the fights could be there at that location. But eventually, all the other teams are pretty much scattered. No clashes are going to be there for these teams, and eventually in the first two zones, I guess they are going to play it very, very safe. Eventually the first zone is gonna be safe for them, actually. Hyderabad Hydras, and I guess that's Team Reckoning going very, very close head to head at this point in the area of Georgipur, and they're just very close. There might be a clash coming up, there might be a fight coming up. If I talk about Team Insane, look at that, they have spotted him down. Assault could be picked up from this location. Look at that, he's just trying to spray him down, he's just trying to gun him down, but it is not that possible for him. And yeah, the shots are not being connected. Oh, Klaus has been taken out. Oh dude, look at that. Team Insane just killing them out, just like let's say cutting the kites from the sky.
Oh my god, Team Insane. We talk about being Team Insane, being aggressive, but this is just different level of being aggressiveness. Look at that. He was just not yet down to the ground even, and the player is already down to the dust. What level of gameplay is this Team Insane, getting their very first player down? But I guess the revival can be initiated at any time, and the player will be back to his life anyway soon. But on the other hand, there we even have one more fight going on between Hyderabad Hydras and Reckoning Esports. Carried down to the ground, I guess, is being finished completely there and there. So yes, this map of Erangel is just gonna set multiple initial fights happening all over.
Well, yeah, of course, but one thing I don't want to see is that gonna be squad getting eliminated as a whole. I don't want to see any squad getting eliminated at this point, because eventually, even if one member of any squad actually just remains, then I guess the survival point could be for their team, and then eventually you could just play really, very safe. If I talk about Team Insane, well, they have a very good split drop coming up. That's gonna be Mag, that's gonna be Neo, Adi, and Sayam. And if I talk about Team Hyderabad Hydras, well, we have lost one good guy, that's gonna be Carry, and other than that, we are going to see Ace Black striker for the win, Manti OP carrying the burden of this team at this point. Team Reckoning was the one which actually got that initial pack. Then OG also goes down. The assaulter, let's say the great guy from Team Orangutan, that's gonna be Ash, has been picked up. I guess Darshada, this day number 4 is not turning as expected for the team.
It's definitely not right now. You see the sides of Hyderabad Hydras. They got one finish, but what did they lose? One good player.
Yeah.
The same for the sides of Reckoning as well. This is not how you really expect to start your day with. Getting one finish is a great thing for you, but losing one good player in exchange of that is not something I really look forward to. So yeah, eventually it's going to be a 3v3 fight happening once again. We have seen these both teams fighting multiple times in the map of Erangel, as they do share the common drop location. So there's something drop clashes all over. But on the other hand, we did even see the sides of Team Insane taking one player down, but eventually that player was just brought back to his life. So yeah, a good one for the opponents as well, right?
Yeah, of course. From Team Insane, there was a good knockout for Team UDOG Esports, and then eventually he was brought back to the life. Yes, of course, that was there. But eventually, for talk about Team X backward, look at that. We have Barosa, like that's going to be Gil, if I'm not wrong. We have Mavi, we have Scout coming up in the third number of the team, and eventually, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Viro for the support of this team. And eventually, this team is in the Water City vicinity. They are going to loot it up, and eventually, the battle will be there. Battle is going to be there eventually for them. But for the first zone, I guess all the other teams are trying to choose a very good drop location wherever they prefer, and then eventually loot it up. And eventually, after the second zone is there, and I guess the second zone is going to initiate very soon after the first zone gets ends. So the teams are going to put some new rotations, and then the carnage begins, because after all, the first flight path was very let's say doable. All the other teams were able to actually get their preferred drop location, but then play zone is not going to prefer you.
It is not. It is not.
Yeah.
I mean, a play zone plays a different game.
Yeah.
These players are playing a different game. BGMI gods are playing different game. Each and everyone here is just playing a new game. It's just someone getting a victory of all these games and just getting that delicious chicken dinner for themselves. But on the other hand, you talk about Team Xbox right now looking good to their primary drop location. I mean, I do see each and every time Team Xbox just being in that split somewhere near to ruins and Water City, but this time they have decided to completely stick together and not just be into any kind of separation. And on the other hand, same goes for the sides of Team R Esports as well, looking good into the areas of military base. No team to have an initial drop clash with, but the sides of Team Revenant right now have already initiated their rotations and are looking forward to a great position inside the zones.
Well, I guess they are in the zone at this point, but eventually they're just trying to find good loot areas, because if I'm not wrong, Team Revenant is there, but still these small compounds are not gonna be enough for these giants to loot up. So that is why they're just trying to find out good locations. Look at that, new player 7 is going to get a good 3S scope, so that eventually the sprays are gonna be on point and they could just pick more and more guys from that location. And there we go, new player trying to go and loot it up, but then eventually he was stuck down by the buggy. So yeah, he's going to change his direction, he's going to loot it up and then eventually take a fight, then eventually take a carnage. I'm just excited to see that how these teams are going to retaliate. Well, we have Team Blind coming up also trying to rotate. They were in the area of Prismark, but as we already saw, Prismark is on the western vicinity and the whole play zone has shifted to the eastern courtyards.
They need to rotate, right? I mean, look at that. The amount of damages. The first zone is just hitting them, and eventually, if you are way too away from the zone at the initial stages, it can cause you burn a lot of utilities. That is not good for your entire team at the last zones fight. So yeah, definitely that's something that you really need to have your eyes on. But on the other hand, Team Xbox right now, okay, what are these players exactly? Okay, they are just providing each other everything that they need to just fight it out and are looking good in that vehicles. I mean, buggy, yeah, for time being you can rotate with that buggy, but eventually if you get caught, one player that's just sitting on that seat upside can get into a lot more of problems.
Oh, it's going to put a lot more carnage in the perspective. But if I talk about Team Revenge, yesterday's day was, let's say, pretty much average for the team. They were trying their real best. To come back in the fight, and they did actually come back in the fight. But let's see how this day is going to turn out, because yesterday we saw the battle between Team Rivalry and Team Revenge. Now Team Revenant also was losing a lot of ground in the yesterday's battle. I guess this day, the new day, is going to put more smile onto their faces. So let's see what eventually happens. We have Paradox, the top dog, Austin Botex, and Player 7 is actually going to look into the whole perspective. And yes, of course, our gaming partner is going to be Logitech, and you can enjoy the G4 35 wireless gaming headset for the less ping and, let's say, a lot of carnage, lot of fight, lot of good game sounds will be there for you. But eventually Team Revenant is pretty switched up. The first zone is going to end very soon. I'm eagerly waiting for, look at the zone coming up. This is going to be second zone. 30% of the areas are in the military base island. But eventually, if I talk about the 40% area, well, that's going to be in the area of Peripier, in the area of farm and the constituent area, farm and Milta. But then we also have a small narrow what going on.
Yes. I'm excited. Come on, just go to the zone, run, just have a marathon towards the zone and show me what these bridge fights are again gonna be like. We saw that yesterday, we are just gonna see it again. But there you go, Entity Shadow just taking one player down. That's gonna be from the sides of Team OR. Well, Aditya is down to the ground. Dark Lord will be confirming that player as soon as possible. But Dark Lord really running low on HP, needs to patch himself up. I mean, Team OR losing one of their good players at an initial stages is gonna cause them a lot more of problems. The Team Entity can okay, that's one player down. Entity Noob has to go down on the other hand. New player one. Okay, that's gonna be new one. Just down to the ground. Not just down, but eventually he'll be confirmed there and there. The sides of Team Entity right now are really looking good, but not for a longer period of time. Dark Lord departs. He just had to say a complete goodbye. It's gonna be a 2v3 fight for the sides of Team OR.
Well, that's a great placement for OR's guys right now, because they were trying to climb onto the, let's say, building, and that was successful. Vexy was the one with actually that great need, and look at that. I guess Shadow 7 could be tagged out by that need, but then we have Noob getting revival in the perspective, and yes, he has been rezzed, he has been resurrected, and I guess now the fights are going to be very amplified. Look at that. OR Jelly was trying to actually rotate that vehicle. The IGL is actually trying to strategize some new good moments, but eventually he was unable to do that. Vexy has been picked off. Now Jelly is going to be the last man standing of his team. Let's see what eventually he can do. Jelly is trying to retaliate. I guess he's tries to fall back. Let's see, is it possible for him? Yes, he did it. I guess he is trying to fall back, and yeah, that fallback could be possible from that angle. And oh, the back tire has already been busted. Oh, let's see what eventually the battle is gonna be there. Noob and Shadow already trying to track him down, already trying to decimate him, and yeah, that is what is going to happen. Look at that, boom for 1v1, but Jelly decimates him out. Jelly tries to put him down, and yes, Noob can be picked up from this location, and yes, Noob gets confirmed, but eventually he was picked up from the hands of Troy. Well, I guess this was something to be pretty aware about. I guess he could have confirmed Shadow 7 also, and Troy was pretty much far away, but he, I mean, Jelly decides to actually put him down initially, and that is why I guess the loss of life was there.
What did just went wrong with the sides of Team OR right now? I mean, we know, right? We know the aggression that Team OR has. This is not something that Team OR is. Losing 1, 2, 3 and all of the players all together in just a span of 3 to 4 minutes, man, oh man. On the other hand, you talk about Team Entity. I mean, yes, it was a good decision to just completely go for the fight and not just disengage after taking 1 or 2 finishes. But I don't know. What do I say more about the fight overall? On the other hand, you do have the sides of Team X-Spark rotating Team Insane. Okay, that's gonna be a fight with the sides of Team Celsius as well. So yeah, pretty excited to know what exactly is going to happen there. But on the other hand, you do have the sides of Team Oldwood and Team Blind getting into a fight.
Another fight, another battle coming up in the lobby, and look at that, Team Blind already trying to retaliate. We have Claus going down once again. I guess Claus was the one who actually got picked up in the initial battle, when eventually Master was also trying to retaliate one more guy. Look at that. Now I guess Crazy is going to be the last man standing of his team. Let's see what eventually happens. And yeah, Crazy is the last man standing, trying to retaliate, trying to decimate the hopes of Team Blind, but of course Team Blind has actually put a very great pressure on him, and now I guess he could go for the survival. I guess that would be the great strategy for them. But yeah, eventually he tries to take a battle, but then I guess he's not going to survive for sure. Yeah, that's what happened. A great jump shot by the hands of Blaster, and with that, okay, that was Pokemon who actually got that initial frag. That was interesting, but now Team Reckoning is here to put Pokemon down, and he is not going to evolve anytime soon.
Oh my god, Reckoning, they just are utilizing this movement so amazingly. Look at that, one player, they already just took one finish onto themselves, and Master there right now is just running low on HP. I mean, one or two bullets more and he has to depart as well. Right now the fights are just rattling up so much. I mean, I didn't expect this to happen, to be honest, with the upcoming zone shift, but eventually it is what it is. So yeah, talking about some other fights as well. It's Team Celsius, who just recently saw them getting into a fight with the sides of Team Insane, but right now are focusing on the sides of Team Revenant. Top Dog really running low on his HP. What? No, was that player finished there, or what did just happen right now?
Well, in the hopes of a lot of carnage coming up, I guess we are missing a few fights coming up in the lobby. But yes, we are going to see some new faces coming in the lobby. We have Milta, pretty much very contested with all of the teams which are there in the lobby. Remaining all of the 14 teams are trying to just be in the Milta and the closer vicinities. And you can see that another close bridge fights is going to be there. I guess this zone is going to shrink into the vicinity of Milta. Well, it's going to be very amazing to watch. It could be the eastern area of Milta where the zone is going to end. And we have Team X-Spark still trying to retaliate. They have got 0 frags into perspective. They are pretty much scattered, and that is why they are getting contested. Gomlumon, I mean Scout, is already getting contested. He is already getting punched out. But then if I talk about Mavi, well, trying to retaliate with a beautiful Scarel and Mini 14 in the backpack. Well, that's going to be amazing to watch that how these teams are going to retaliate. But because Team Entity is holding a good ground, I guess Team X-Park is unable to move a lot of charm.
Definitely. Moreover, please take the next zone away from Milta. Please do that for me. I mean, I'm really now I'm
I really
really
doubt
very
it.
keen. I know, I do agree with that. Like the chances are really running low, but I do really wish that to happen. On the other hand, when you talk about Team X Park, right now 0 finishes, but as you know, it's just the start of everything happening all around. So yeah, right now getting into a fight. On the other hand, when you talk about Team EXO, I mean, I'm pretty happy for them at this moment. They are holding a great compound for themselves, and that's something I'm really happy about. But you never know, right? You never know what happens next, right? This is a drop location. I mean, we have seen Team EXO dropping here many a times, but you really just can't predict anything that happens in this map of BGMI. You see that Exophios going in for some grenades, but Canary, my friend, what were you doing there? Oh no. No.
A great casualty for the teams at this point, if I'm not wrong. Well, of course, Team R Esports are trying to retaliate, but I guess Team Revenant is not going to let them the path. And other than that, we also have Team Orangutan coming on the eastern area of that Nova Ripnoi bridge. Well, we have Pehchan Kon, Believe, and pretty far away, we also have Trigger coming up in the battle. We already saw that Ash was picked off, so that is why I guess that is a great casualty for the team. But eventually, look at Team Revenge Esports going from the southern corner and just driving straight into the area of that's going to be Milta. And now Team Exo Sensei is trying to retaliate. Let's see what Sensei does right now, trying to actually put that 1v1 into the perspective. Is it possible for him? Okay, there we go, the damage was done. I guess that was Team Rivalry's Wizard which actually put him down, but then yeah, Sensei was the one who actually stole the finishes. Actually 5k, and that's going to be Shark which is remaining in the lobby. Let's see what Sensei does, and the nade is going to be there. I guess that nade is going to put that connection for sure. Let's see how the kill feed is going to be, and yeah, there we go, the nade is going to get that connection, and the nade is going to be there. This nade is not going to make that kind of connection, but yeah, of course, now the position is going to be there. I guess Sensei could do a 1v3 fight, and Shark is the last one standing. Okay, we have a Molly coming up, and that's for sure the end of this team, which is going to be, I guess, Team Revenge. And yeah, there we go, Revenge Esports goes down 1v2 for Sensei, and the battle is coming up. Team Entity trying to decimate Team EXO, but I guess that's a great start for them, Darshita.
Just let me know what Team EXO is right now up to. I mean, I haven't seen them being so aggressive. I do completely agree for the fact that Team EXO is a very strong team and is a really aggressive team, but we haven't seen this team just pushing it so aggressively to any team without getting any initial frags or initial opening for themselves. I mean, this is looking so good today. On the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team Entity right now. 5 finishes really good for them, but the thing is they are 2 surviving players. Even one player goes down, it can cause a lot more of problem for them. On the other hand, you talk about Team EXO right in front of them. They are holding a great compound for themselves, and these compound, I mean, there's no one at their back. There's no single player at their back, and that eventually gives them a lot more of advantage of being free. What these backstabs can do for them.
These backstabs, but it can turn in really very ugly. It's a really very ugly business of BGMI. Oh, look at that, he has been in the molly. He has been engulfed in the molly right now. Adi is pretty lit. He is going to heal himself, but yes, of course, Team Revenant is just trying to retaliate a lot. Look at that, Siam is trying to actually put the carnage into perspective, but is it possible for them? Oh, Siam Sunid has actually put down 2 players of Team Revenant. I guess one more goes down. Oh, Team Revenant, well, they are getting pressurized a lot. I guess Mac has to get that revival now. New player 7 is going to be the last one standing of Team Revenant. Well, Darshita, I guess previous day was not that good for Team Revenant, and I hope this day will bring a new sunshine for the team. But yes, of course, they have lost 2 good guys of their team, and I guess the last man standing is also not going to survive. And yeah, there we go. Insane the insane Siam was the one with this M416 Glacier who actually eliminated Revenant's new player 7 also.
Absolutely, that is going to be the case. But right now, Adi is being just getting tagged a lot. Not yet sure completely from which team or which direction, but he needs to just patch himself up as soon as possible. On the other hand, when you talk about our esports, we do have Hero, the last surviving player. Let's just see if he can be the hero of his entire team and just, make this work into their favor. But right now, it eventually depends on the shift that the zone has to work around. But then there you go, Milta. Well, I guess once again, BGMI gods have hurt me thoroughly. It's not going to be the city areas of Malta. Somewhere
Yeah, it will be the eastern area.
nearby. Yeah, exactly. Somewhere nearby. On the other hand, you talk about Team X Park. Right now, they are surviving on all of their four players, but it's zero finishes. I mean, yes, getting into fight is something that you're not just getting into a fight, but just putting a victory over that fight is something that needs to be done there and there. Mavi there, the core IGL itself trying to rotate, but on the other hand, we do have the sides of Team OG and Rivalry getting into the fights. OG
Oh,
just
look at that.
down like dominoes can cause them a lot of problems, but there you go. The zone is all set, and we do have some teams right now out of the zone.
Well, out of the teams, out of the zone, which are the teams, I guess that's going to be Team Blind. Pokemon has been picked up from the hands of Team X Park. Well, that's going to be amazing. But I guess look at that. Team X Park is again going out of the zone, again trying to pick the frags. And that could be the end of Team X Park, because now they are going to get gatekeeped. And yes, they are trying to just put some carnage into a perspective. Eventually, they have got one frag into the perspective. Yeah, that's great for them. Bharosa Rek comes up with another blow with M4 full skin. And yeah, there we go. One more guy goes down from that team. And Team Blind is just continuously getting decimated. But I guess Team X Park has to be in the zone, and that is something they have to work on. Bharosa Rek getting his finishes. They have got two good frags into the perspective. That's great for the team. But eventually, now the zone is going to get pressurized. Oh, Kilwa can be pressurized. Like that. Kilwa is pretty late. But let's see, is it possible for them to get that retaliation? Another 1v1 was there, but then Rivalry Wizard was picked up from the hands of Team Celsius. Well, Team Celsius is one of those teams, Darshita, which is gaining their pace. They are very sneaky climbers, and they are very good climbers at this point.
I do definitely agree with each and everything. On the other hand, you see them, right? Celsius Apollo right now just pressurizing the sides of Team OG so much, but no, one player down from the sides of Team X Park with two finishes for themselves. I mean, he's just running really low, but there you go. One player down, another player down to the ground itself. It's just going to be the deadly duo combination left behind. That's Mavi and Viru right now needs to do something, because you see, right, they have just been surrounded by n number of teams. It's going to be one team at the back, one team at the front, and no inside wall covers to walk around with. So yeah, you need to have those smokes. Sensei on the other hand is down to the ground. The sides of Team Insane right now are just trying their level best to move to the zone as soon as possible. But on the other hand, we do have the sides of Team Celsius. No, this is one player down to the ground. Second player, can he do that? Oh my god, he doesn't. There you go. Celsius, one more player down to the ground. It's all to the shoulders of Max and Apollo right now.
Well, Max is pretty late at this point. He has to heal up, and yeah, there we go. He has healed himself very good. But Team X Park is losing two good guys of their team right now. Well, that's going to be Viru and Mavi. Well, they have holded a very good placement in the zone, but then Team Reckoning has the upper hand in the terms of ridges, and that could be the casualty. Well, Sayam with 4 more frags into his perspective. Look at that. He's the lone man standing of his team. He has got 4 frags into the perspective. Yeah, that's great for him. But eventually, Celsius Apollo is not going to let that part. Oh, look at that! Top 3 players are jumping. That's going to be a very amazing 1v3. Let's see what happens. Oh, he successfully does it. Oh, look at that, Darshita. This is a sight to see. They have got 1v3. Insane Sayam with 7 amazing frags into his perspective. Dude, what a fight. What a carnage, man.
What was that?
Oh
my god, Insane Sayam just going so ham. On the other hand, we do have the sides of Exo Fierce there, just putting one player just converting him to crates completely. 6 finishes for the sides of Team EXO right now, surviving with 2 players. That's going to be Snacks and Fears. And we do know, right, how deadly this duo can be. But Sayam, oh my god, was that rap gun turned out to be death for so many players. On the other hand, we do have the sides of Team X Park, 2 surviving players for them. That's going to be Mavi and Viru right now looking good position. Yeah, they are looking good for their positions, but the next zone shift can create a lot more of problems. Out of all this trader, I do have my eyes on the sides of Team Mayavi. I mean, I just haven't seen them looking so great in this map of Erangel. I mean, I haven't seen them picking up so many frags for themselves. I mean, what's happening? What's happening?
But let me tell you one thing, Darshita, they are going to get contested a lot just because we have Team Hyderabad Hydras also looking at their sides. Then we also have Team EXO coming from that angle. Then we also have Insane Sayam, which actually did a 1v3 on Team Celsius. Well, that was amazing. God. Look at that. Team Orangutan coming on the higher ridges. Then Reckoning is also there on the grounds. So I guess Team Mayavi will not be able to actually push in at this point. But let's see what eventually happens, because they have got a good number of smokes, good number of utilities. They have got good number of manpower also, because they are course, even after you lose 1 or 2 good guys of your team, if you are able to make it into the next upcoming zone, I guess there is a possibility that you are going to make it out to, let's say, top 3 position points. There could be the possibility. And yeah, Sayam going for the heal battle, that's a great strategy after getting this many points. Team Insane was unable to get the position point, and that is what these guys are trying to let's say put into the perspective at this point, and that would be great for them. Exo meanwhile getting contested a lot. We have, look at that, this is what I was talking about, Darshita, because now team Mayavi is going to get contested a lot. They have actually showed their presence by actually eliminating Snacks. Admino could be picked off at any moment, and yeah, look at the number of damage. And yes, Admino also goes down by the hands of team Orangutan. So yes, team Hyderabad Hydras, team Reckoning, and team Orangutan, well, these are the 3 teams which are not going to let them be in the zone.
Multiple things happening all around. There's just one player in the corner of nowhere going in for a heal battle, and that's going to be a great strategy, Sayam. That's a great strategy. You got so much for your team, and it's just time to rackle up more and more placement points. That's going to be a huge strategy. But on the other hand, when you talk about Reckoning Esports, there it's going to be 2 surviving players. That's Kirito and Maxi OP. Well, they do have a light tower, or should I say a watchtower to walk around with, but I mean, one grenade can cost them a lot, right? One grenade can cost them a lot. On the other hand, Insane Sayam has to go down on the 7th position. A great one, I would say. What a match by Insane Sayam entirely. On the other hand, you have Hyderabad Hydras as well right now, just blocking the visions of enemy completely, so that I mean, I guess they want to move around, or they just want to start in for more and more information with the hope of taking at least one player down.
At this point, there could be the case right now, but OG Pehchan Kon once again has tried to eliminate one more guy. I guess now Viru has been the last man standing of his team, because Mavi has been picked off. Mavi was trying to actually put that retaliation into the perspective. He was trying to provide the cover. Viru goes in for a 1v1, but he chokes down by the cover, and that is why Team Reckoning is going to secure that really very good mushroom tower once again. And Team X-Park gets eliminated at #6 with only 2 frags, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, there we go. Team Mayavi meanwhile is getting decimated. Joker has been picked off. Admino, the survival is not possible at this point. Knuckle is going to go down for sure, and Admino is just trying to go for the heal battle in the top 5 teams. Admino just trying to be the sneaky climber for his team. Well, there could be a casualty coming up very very soon. Look at that, he is way out of the zone. He is going to get a lot of pressure by the zone. But if we talk about Team Orangutan, well, they have got a very good high ridge cover, and now they are just trying to throw more and more frags, throw more and more nades. But look at the placement of Fierce at this point. Look at that, he is just on the backdrop areas, he is just on the western corner, but nobody is able to spot him. He's just lying low at this moment, and he's not even spraying at a single guy.
The level of patience. I mean, we just watched him a while ago as well. He was just waiting patiently, no movement, nothing to do at all. But on the other hand, you see Trigger. I mean, no patience right now. We just want to go ham onto his enemies with some great grenades. There you go, one more grenade. Team Mayavi with 6 finishes. Well, I just haven't seen, or I guess I didn't read the. Oh my God, he just took one player down, and Striker provided that cover fire, and that was done and dusted for the sides of Team Mayavi, going down on the very 5th position. To continue what I was saying, I just didn't read the feed so clearly. I mean, Team Mayavi with 6 finishes, that's a great thing to work around with. On the other hand, we do have the last 4 teams and 7 surviving players, to which I guess Exophios is still sitting down there and waiting. Trigger continuously going for grenades and finally gets one on Maxi OP there. The level of patience, the amount of grenades that he has been putting through is just a different level, and finally he gets one on Maxi there. But is next, will they be going in for an aggressive push? Will they be waiting? What are they going to do? Because no one is sure of what position Exophios is holding, and if this position turns out to be deadly, Fierce can just do miracles here.
Well, I guess Fierce is not using that much of utilities at this point, and I guess he could go for the heal battle. He could go for the, let's say, possibility of heal battle, and I guess that is what he's trying to do. Okay, he goes down. Fierce has been taken down. I didn't know that he doesn't have any kind of utilities, but if I talk about Ace Black, he's going for the heal battle, but eventually the zone damage is too much for them, and yeah, zone damage is actually causing, I guess Team Orangutan is again going to get that victory. Oh my God, it's going to be very amazing to watch if Orangutan actually successfully gets that winner chicken dinner. And if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Team Hyderabad Hydras Striker. Oh, the nade. It's possibly going to get that connection. Let's see. Okay, the connection was there, but he was unable to put him down. I guess Striker for the win spotted him out, and that is why he was, let's say, able to deflect the nade. And then eventually, if I talk about Trigger, he's just trying to possibly push in. And there we go. He has just spotted one more guy. Striker goes down with a brutal bow, and just like that, Team Orangutan has secured a winner chicken dinner in match number 19. That's going to be day number 4 of semi-finale. It was really very amazing to watch Team Orangutan once again bouncing back in the fight, and it was one hell of a showdown.
A much needed comeback. Trust me, a much needed comeback for the sides of Team OG right now. I mean, we saw them, right? They got 2 chicken dinners for themselves, if I'm not wrong. They got 2, and this is the 3rd chicken dinner, and the only team, in this 24 teams to get 3 for themselves. What a match it has been of Miramar. I mean, full of miracles, full of unexpected things happening all around, multiple things happening. I mean, for a while, I was really happy for the sides of Team EXO. I mean, we know their drop locations. We have multiple times seen them in the areas of Milta down there, and I was pretty happy that finally, a zone favoring them. But at the end, right, you just can't predict what happens next, and that's what eventually happened there.
Yeah, we can't predict. A lot of variables are there to play in the fight right now, but eventually when Team Orangutan did that a good 1v2, it was very amazing. It was very amazing how these 2 guys, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Trigger and Pechan Kon, which were the last man standing of his team. Actually, they were 2 men standing from, let's say, 5th to 6th zone, if I'm not wrong. But still, they managed to get that winner chicken dinner. That actually depicts if you have a great hygienic sense, if you have a great placement in the zone, how much damage you can cause in the lobby. And that was something very eager to watch. But eventually, let's talk about the highlights coming from the 4th zone. Let's talk about the great eventually casualty coming up in the fights of Team OR versus NTT. Well, look at that. New one goes down with a brutal blow. Then Vexy tries to actually get on the upper hand of the building. And yeah, he was able to put Dark Lord down. And that was actually a great loss for Team NTT. Eventually, that is something they had to be pretty accounted for. Then Jelly was the one who actually got that frag into his perspective. Eventually, he was picked up. Then UDOG Esports versus Blind came in. This was the battle which actually initiated the spark in the lobby of multiple casualties.
I do agree with that. Looking forward, Team EXO at this point was looking really good, but insane. The name itself depicts what performance Sayyam has showcased, and trust me, we'll be seeing that once again. But before that, Team Xpark right now, yes, the decision of rotating from this angle and going into a fight with the sides of Team Blind, yes, it was good. But eventually, what happened next was one player was just at a target contested, and there see, this is what I was talking about. But insane Sayyam, man. Oh man, this man just turned the tables around. 1, 2 vehicle explosion, and the 3rd one departs there. That's a proper 1v3 that just came out of nowhere. Insane Sayyam just being as aggressive as he can.
Oh man, the whole highlight of this match is going to be that fight, that 1v3 which happened in the battle between Insane and Team Celsius. Well, they dropped down like a bunch of, let's say, snowballs, and then they were picked off by the hands of Insane Sayyam's generator. That's going to be M249. But then eventually, if I talk about Team OG, that's going to be Team Orangutan. They tried their real best, and look at that. Ace Black has been picked off by the hands of Team Mayavi, but then the zone actually came in, and just like that, they were picked off. Team Reckoning again getting pressurized, and EXO was actually the last one standing. But eventually, this was the last battle. I guess Trigger was pretty much right, but then Pechan Kon was the one with the good and a brutal cover coming from the back end. And this is something I guess, Darshita, all the teams have to account, because getting a good cover, getting a support from your teammate is all what you can gain in the match of BGMI.
Indeed, that is needed, right? You need a cover fire, you need someone to play with you, give you that level of cover fire. I mean, we saw that happening with the sides of Team Orangutan. Trigger went all ham over to his enemies, and Pechan Kon, he was waiting behind patiently. He's like, you go forward, I'll give you a cover fire, and he proved that, right? The last finish was, if I'm not wrong, was written in the names of Pechan Kon there, and that was definitely one hell of a show what we witnessed. But one more thing I really like to highlight here is the level of patience Team Orangutan has. I mean, we saw Trigger, he was going in for multiple grenades to the sides of the last surviving team. I mean, I'm not just able to recall the name, but yeah, he was just trying his level best to go for as much grenades as he can. He was not able to connect almost 4 or 5 grenades, but successfully the 6th grenade got a connection, and that was the most happiest moment for the player itself. I mean, these are some small things happening in the map of Erangel.
Well, eventually you have to try. Your first grenade is not getting the connection. You have to try for the second one, then third one, then fourth one. Eventually the 6th one actually got the connection, and that was the mark when Team Reckoning was pushed on. That was the pressure which actually was needed, much needed in the lobby, and that is when actually Team Orangutan showed their domination in the last upcoming fights. But eventually, if I talk about teams like X-Pac, well, they were looting really very well in the area of, in the vicinity of, let's say, Water City. Then eventually they cut down their rotation in the southern corner. They went into the area of Milta. They were holding that Milta ground in the northern corner of Milta. But then eventually what happened, they tried to rotate, but then they saw Team Blind very much exposed. They were running on the barefoot, and that is why, I guess, if I'm not wrong, that was Mayavi who actually got that initial frag. He was the one who actually picked one guy, that's Blind Pokemon to be exact, and he was picked up. And then eventually the battle initiated between Team Blind and between Team X-Pac. But eventually in that, let's say, battle, Team Mayavi also came from the back end, Team Blind also retaliated, and then two guys from Team X-Pac was picked off. So this is the kind of small mistakes which are happening in the lobby, which are creating a great loss for the lobby. I mean, you have to agree with that.
I do agree with that. Let's talk more about it with the star of the match, Insane Siam.
Yeah.
His name is everything which depicts what he has done. The level of what do I say? 7 finishes going all out, a 1v3 with M249 when he's the last surviving player. Man, oh man, Insane Siam, you just got us so crazy today. RE Rockstar, that's going to be the best companion with 3 revivals, and it's going to be OG Pehchan Kaur for final elimination. Well, yes, 6 finishes. It's going to be the star of the match. That's going to be Insane, RE and OG Pehchan Kaur. But one more thing that I still am confused about, Raider, is what went wrong with the sides of Team OR. I mean, what exactly went wrong is something that is just, biting me at the end. I mean, I'm still not able to just recall it, what exactly was the situation there and what just went there.
Well, I guess Team OR was trying to cut their rotations. Eventually, they were cutted off guard by the hands of Team NTT Gaming. And then Vexy tried to retaliate. He was on the top of the hill, top of the building. Also, he was on the top of that shack. He tried to retaliate, but his head was too much exposed. Then eventually, some other guy from Team NTT manages to put him down. Then Jelly was the one who actually tried to escape. But I guess Jelly actually did a 1v1. That was great. But he would have not gone for the finish. He would rather have gone for that another 1v2, which was coming to be there. And I guess that was Shadow 7, who was the next upcoming guy in the front foot areas, and Troy was the one which actually was giving cover from that compounded fight. So I guess if that was not happened, if Jelly was not going for the frags, there might be some good 1v2, 1v3 coming up from Team OR.
Maybe, yes. I mean, I do really expect that. This map of Erangel overall, has been really surprising for me at one point of time, but for the other, I eventually do see some really, really small mistakes happening all around. But talking more about today's day, well, what's done is done. That's going to be the map of Erangel, the very first thing, and we are going to head towards the map of Miramar anyway soon. Like, we are going to have the sides of Group A and Group C fighting, and let me tell you, Group C is going to start their semi-finales day 4 journey with the map of Miramar.
Your favorite one, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, the map of Miramar is going to be very amazing to watch because some new teams are going to be there for the day. The teams' names are going to be such as Skylightz Gaming, 8-Bit will be there, Tactical Esports, Enigma Gaming, Marcos Gaming, Team Forever will be there as an invited team in the semi-finale round, and 2 teams which have been qualified from the quarter-finale are going to be UDOG India, and Team Nugget is for sure going to be there. Team Nugget coming strongly in the backup areas, strongly in the fights. We saw that last day for Team Nugget was actually, let's say, very good, more than average, and they tried to score good some points. I guess 50 to 60 points were there for Team Nugget, but eventually Team UDOG India was unable to perform. Team Forever was another team which was trying to perform but unable to do that kind of charm as they did in the previous day number 2. Well, if I talk about Marcos Gaming, well, they were also retaliating, but not that effectively. Enigma Gaming trying their real best. Tactical Esports, they are also trying, but Team 8-Bit, well, 8-Bit and Skylightz Gaming from group number C, I guess these are the 2 teams which are giving their all out at the day number 3. But let's see how the day number 4, a new day, a new sunshine, is going to put their game forward.
I do completely agree with that. Right now, when you ask me, Raider, I will say that deep down in my heart, I really, expect way more amazing performances from these qualified teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you have been fighting such a long journey, my friend, and if you miss it out at this moment, I mean, I would really feel bad for that. You're just going down. Just one step ahead of victory is what you are standing. One step you need to climb up, and you are just heading your ways towards the grand finals. But if you are not able to do that, if you don't step up, you will eventually go down and you will just end your journey in the semi-finales of AMD Sky Sports Grand Slam. And I really don't wish that to be happening anyways. But right now, Team Insane, yes, they were looking good. The previous map, Team Exo, somewhere, yes, the starting of the map, they were really looking good. But right now, we do have the map of Miramar. And you know, right, what happened in the map of Erangel doesn't repeats itself in the map
Of
of
course, of course.
Miramar, right?
The map of Miramar is going to bring some new turns, bring some new smile onto the faces, bring some tears into the teams right now because it
Yeah,
is a map
exactly.
where you never expect what is going to happen. Well, I guess Sanok is a map which is actually very unexpected, but then after that, it comes to the map of Miramar because many vehicle blows are going to be there. Some teams are going to be on the higher edges. You are never going to expect from where the sprays are going to come in. You will be like very panicked. All the teams are going to be very panicked. Like sprays are coming from left, right. Nobody is going to expect from the top areas, and you never know from the blows are going to be there. It is going to be very amazing to watch that how the retaliation is going to be there, how the fights, how the carnage is going to put through. But yes, of course, I'm pretty excited about the whole carnage situation coming up. It's going to be very amazing to watch that how the retaliation is going to be there, how the fights are going to be there. The map of Miramar is going to be full of enthusiasm, full of carnage, full of let's say some good casualties in the lobby.
Just bring me the map of Miramar. I mean, I can't wait. I definitely can't wait for even one single match. I mean, you have been seeing me casting for
Mhm.
4 days, and there's no one more excited than me to see what's gonna happen next. Eventually, yes, the map of Erangel was amazing. The map of Miramar, as just Raider informed you a while ago, that it's just full of tipsy turvy turns. You want to go somewhere, you just find yourself somewhere elsewhere. I mean, that's what Miramar is all about. You moreover need to concentrate on your backs. You need to keep your backs clear, or you
Of
just
course, of
can
course.
be a case of third party, fourth party, fifth party, and number of parties happening in this map, right?
A lot of party, but only one team is going to actually get that initial party. That's going to be the winner chicken dinner team of the map of Miramar. Well, of course, let me remind you once again, this is AMD presents Sky Esports Grand Slam. Broadcasting partner is going to be Loco, gaming partner is going to be Logitech. This is the semi-finale round, but we are going to remind you that the teams which are going to be in the finale are going to be few invited teams. Well, let me remind you that the previous Grand Slam, the season 1, the winners and the runner-up, that team's going to be Velocity, formerly known as Team IND, and Team Soul are going to be there, of course. But then eventually, if I talk about the whole Sky Esports Championship 3.0 champions, well, that's going to be Team Godlike, of course. And then we have 7C Esports also coming in the runner-up position. If I talk about Sky Esports Mobile Open, you are going to see the champions Team TSM and runner-ups Team Gaming Esports trying to go into the battle and head out into a very great, amazing fight between top 10 teams coming from semi-finale, and let's say 6 team United teams will be there. Which are these 6 teams? You can see that the faces are there. I guess from previous 3 days, all the, let's say, live chat on our all audience were expecting these teams to be in the lobby, because of course this is an invitational perspective where 18 teams are united in semi-finale. We were expecting these teams eventually, but yeah, you guys know that they have done their job, they have shown their worth, so that is why they have been invited in the grand finale. So of course you are going to see them in the grand finale.
They are just waiting patiently for these. No, I mean, they're just waiting patiently to welcome these 10 teams. I mean, yeah, they're just waiting for that to happen. So definitely, yes, these are the 6 invited teams for the grand finals of AMD presents Sky Esports Grand Slam. Gaming partner Logitech G, broadcasting partner Loco. Well, from this, I do remember that after you know. After a few more matches, I mean, just 1 or 2 matches more, we are directly gonna shift the entire broadcasting on Loco. So
Oh yeah.
eventually, if you haven't downloaded Logo yet, trust me, you're just gonna miss a lot more of happening. So go to your Play Store, make sure you download Loco, and directly follow us on Loco as well.
Well, of course, you have to follow us on Loco and Sky Sports Hindi, English, and Kannada, so that you can enjoy the whole multiple language, the regional language streams going on, so that you can enjoy us like a homely feeling. But yes, of course, it's going to be very amazing to watch that how the Loco is going to be there and how you can enjoy all of the stuff which is going to be there. Match number 1, 2, and 3 are of course going to be on the map of on the platform of YouTube to be exact. But then eventually we are going to shift exclusively onto Loco, so that eventually you can just go ahead and enjoy over that platform. So this is something you have to be pretty aware about. So let's see what eventually happens to them.
Yeah, exactly. Just waiting. So patiently right now to see what happens next. So yeah, eventually the next map, the upcoming map of Miramar, Group A, Group C, we have 4 invited teams: Entity, Insane. Sorry, 4 qualified teams. My bad on that. Entity,
Yeah.
Insane, UDOG, and Team Nugget. I mean, I specifically wanted to mention right now about the sides of Team UDOG as well. I mean, yeah, they are looking really good on one side of the map, but on the other side, when you talk about the position points, somewhere or the other, I really feel like they can do much more. These teams are really aggressive. At some point of time, we find them being really aggressive, but at some point of time, they just go real passive. I really don't know the reason why many things are happening all around, but eventually, yes, one of those teams that I really do expect to perform right now is the sides of Team UDOG. I mean, you have been qualified, you have just made a long journey. Please don't miss it, my friend. Please don't.
Well, I guess the amount of pacifistic gameplay coming from teams like insane teams like EXO are actually, it's because it's a serious thing to play in the Grand Slam at this point. All of the teams are trying their level best. 24 teams are invited. Every team has every team has a capability which is more than each and every team. They are trying to just explore more and more options. Some aggressive teams are going on the backdrop areas. For example, there are few teams which are actually playing aggressive. That's going to be Team Xpark for you guys. They are not able to get some good position points, and the reason behind it is as simple as that they are way out of the zone, just getting some frags into their perspective, and eventually when the zone comes, they have to just run in the vehicles, they have to just be in the zone, and then eventually they are getting just tagged out and getting decimated by the hands of some other teams such as Team Blind, or let it be Team Mayavi. Whichever group they are trying to play, in every group it's going to be some great casualties which are going to be there if you are not in the zone. So this is something these teams have to be pretty aware about, otherwise the casualties are for sure going to be there. So yeah, I guess the teams are trying their real best. They are going to play with the smooth flow which are there, but after let's say reminding themselves that what is to be done in the lobby to get into the tabletoppers list.
Just bring me the map of Miramar. I mean, please do that,
I'm also
right?
waiting for that.
I'm just waiting since such a long time to just see what fly path is. You know, right? The map of Miramar is completely dependent on the fly path, and moreover, I would say to the very first play zone. If the very first play zone is not something that is favoring you, it can cause you a lot of problems, and there's where you can face many difficulties. So yeah, something about fly path, something about play zone is what I'm really expecting. But before we head towards the map of Miramar Raider, do you have any kind of expectations, or you want something new to happen in this map?
I definitely want to see the initial clashes because that's what actually motivates us to cast, build the hype in the lobby. But yeah, of course, I want to see some new faces getting that winner chicken dinner, because yesterday we saw Skylightz Gaming getting that winner chicken dinner. From past 2 days, they were unable to get that, but eventually yesterday they did a very good comeback in the lobby. But now today, I want to see Team Tactical bouncing back once again. They are able to get some good promotion points for themselves eventually in the day number 3. But yeah, they were unable to get any kind of ranks. But there we go. The map is here. It is starting from El Pozo. The northwestern corner of the lobby is going to be there, and it is going to end in the southern vicinity of Los Angeles. Well, it is going to touch a lot of hot drops. For example, we have El Pozo, Ladriara, Chumacera, Montenuovo is going to be there for sure. Other than that, we also have Power Grid, Pecado has a good drop, San Martin is very accessible, La Cobrera is going to be the poison for some other teams. I guess that could be Team Rivalry or Hyderabad Hydras. But let's see what eventually happens. Okay, Hyderabad Hydras is not here in the lobby. Yes, of course, because that's group A and C fighting it out in the map. So let's see what eventually happens. We are going to see some hot drops of Los Angeles, Chumacera, Impala, and last but not the least, that's going to be Puerto Preso, where the teams are going to jump definitely.
Absolutely. On the other hand, when you talk about, it's a thing that every time you see the fly path, the play zone is exactly the opposite. So if that happens, I do expect it somewhere near El Azhar, but I don't know. I really don't feel like this zone is going to be somewhere near El Azhar. I mean, we will just get to know that in a few seconds or so. But Los Leones, once again, the biggest compound of this entire map, and somewhere we can see 2 or 3 teams trying to just contest in that area, trying to give themselves a great position. But on the upper side as well, the areas of El Pozo, we do have. Oh my God! Do you have anything to say, Raider, right now?
Wow. An eastern zone, it's going to be very interesting to watch how the teams are going to flank it out. And look at that, we already have 30% of the areas in the waters. I asked for an initial clash. It is going to be there for sure in the area of El Pozo and areas of Montenuovo and areas like, let's say, Los Angeles. But a whole lot of northern corner of the play zone is very empty at this point, and I guess more of the teams are going to be there.
Oh my God. I mean, this time I said I don't want LSR. Why do you do this to me? What is this happening? The areas of Los Leones right now on the other hand, you do seem, it does seems like an initial clash happening any moment now. El Pozo, well, yes, a fight happening any moment. On the other hand, some teams have already decided to just take a vehicle and just find themselves something in the zone. Impala, beautiful compound left completely empty right now in this map. I mean, why do you just leave so many beautiful compounds as empty as like this? But on the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team EXO. That is that an initial fight? I mean, I just saw one player nearby.
Of course, there could be an initial fight coming up because Team EXO is very close to, I guess, that could be Team 8-bit, which is going to be there. So yeah, there could be a casualty coming from that angle. But at this point, Team EXO, in the last match, they performed, actually, let's say, outperformed each and every team, tried to outperform. And Stacks was there, Punko was there, I guess that's Fierce, and the other guy that's going to be the Igel, that's going to be Sensi. If I talk about Team Insane, well, they are very close in the vicinity of El Pozo, where Team Skylightz Gaming is going to contest them anytime soon. So let's see what eventually happens. We have Neo, Adi, Sayam, and Mac. Well, whenever I say the name Sayam, I just get reminded about that 1v3 which he did onto Team Celsius. But it was very funny, and it was very aggressive too, if I'm not wrong, because the players of Team Celsius jumped consecutively one after another from the first floor of that building, and then eventually still Insane Sayam was able to counter back and retaliate on all of them.
All I can say about that is someone just give him an M249. Please do that. Please do that. A deadly weapon can cause a lot more of problems. But on the other hand, you talk about Skylightz Gaming. Eventually, yes, a way more aggressive team right now. You know what Gamla Boy and Somraj did. How they just build a cover fire for themselves. How the way they perform is just something really beautiful. So yeah, Skylightz Gaming versus Team Insane. If this fight is happening, I mean, it's gonna be a one hell of a show to have our eyes on. But on the other hand, we do have the sides of Team OR as well. 4-on-4 surviving players. They do have a good shift. I mean, split. I'm sorry for that. They do have a good split with the teammates itself to find themselves something really good to work around with. And I guess that's going to be pretty important. Finding yourself small compounds and just splitting and having your hands on everything is going to be important right now.
Of course, these kind of things are very important. You are getting some good compounds, you're getting some good utilities, getting some good vehicles to actually stand along in the fight. These are some things which which the teams have to be pretty worried about, and I guess all the other teams are just trying to find the same exact thing. That is going to be the goal for the first two zones, and eventually the passive gameplay will pass out very soon. So let's see how the casualties are going to be. Let's see how the gun game is going to be there. Now Team 8-bit still in the vicinity of Los Angeles, pretty close to Team EXO. Well, I guess Miramar is one of those maps where if you actually zoom out in the map, you can see that teams are pretty close, but eventually on the ground situation is very different. The teams are actually far away, let's say 200 or 300 meters away from each other, and the fights are not that possible in the map of Miramar in the initial few zones.
I do agree with that. I mean, yeah, that's certainly the case. Sometimes it's a way more aggressive map. Sometimes it just goes passive. It just goes calm. So yeah, that's something that keeps on happening with the map of Miramar. But right now, it's just been nearly 6 minutes, and everything is just at peace. No movements, no fights, nothing happening. We have seen. Teams like the sides of El Pozo, if I'm not wrong, we saw two teams there, but it was no player down to the ground, no player just going off or anything happening. Each and everyone is going fine, doing fine with whatever they want to have, and everyone is just waiting back patiently, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just going in for a vehicle and rotation, and after this rotation, trust me, there are going to be n number of fights happening all around.
Of course. There are going to be a huge number of fights, a huge chunk of fights are going to be there, and that is something we are eagerly waiting for. First off, we wait for the flight path. Oh, Canary again goes out from the vehicle, and I guess again he is actually getting down. He's again getting knocked out. I don't know what is happening, but
Yeah,
I guess that this could be occurs again.
exactly. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you, but the same thing happened in the map of Erangel as well.
Yeah.
Canary near to the bridge went down due to his own vehicle, and once again he's doing the same. I mean, Canary, what's wrong with you, my friend? What's wrong?
Yeah, of course. I guess that kind of stumbling is going to let them down at any time soon. But eventually, if I'm not wrong, that's Team Rivalry. We have Jokeganai, 5911, Vulture 07, and Wizard playing it for Team Rivalry at this location, and they are in the vicinity of Lagobrian, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, that's great location. But Team Celsius, well, I guess I hope so. They are not going to be 1v3 again. Yes, the battle is going to be very impressive. Karthik is there. I guess that's Apollo, Dreams, and Max is going to be here right now anytime soon. And yes, of course, they are going to loot it up, the vicinities which are there in their nearby areas. That's great for the team. Eventually they are going to get some good loots, and yes, of course, the meta is going to be of M416 and UMP45. Well, I guess these are the gun combination these teams are trying to prepare, and the only reason, the sole reason is going to be, it's like a team it's like UMP45 is one of those guns which actually got a very great connection onto the lobby, and then getting that ammo of 0.45 ACP is going to let you get you a lot of space in the backpack. Then eventually you can go for other utilities such as first aid kits, smoke grenades, nades. These are a few things which you can cover up. But now Team Marcos Gaming is heading into the battle with Team Tactical. Let's see. I wanted to see both of these teams coming back into the fight, but I guess only one is going to make it out. Look at that. Clutch is trying to decimate. Let's see, is it possible for him? Fragger 69 also trying to retaliate. Well, I guess only Rocks meanwhile has been picked off. The revival is not going to be there anytime soon. And yes, Cells Radiant also getting pressurized a lot.
Multiple amount of damage is being dealt by both of the team at this moment. I mean, the exchange of grenades is causing a lot more of problems, but there you go. Hitman will make sure to take one player down. That's going to be one good player down to the ground, completely eliminated. Clutch, you don't do that. You don't jump into a complete open ridge. Eventually, you will be put down to the dust. That can cause a lot more of problems for your entire team. Kid is down to the ground, but anywhere now he can be revived back. He's just okay. He's being revived by his own teammate. That's going to be Hitman there. So yeah, the sides of Team Tactical right now are looking good, but Marcos Gaming on the other hand, somewhere lacking behind. One player is already done and dusted. The other is down to the ground. I mean, was down to the ground, is being revived back. But what's next? What's going to happen next? There you go, Tactical Kid. Down to the ground, but UOP will be instantly traded there and there, and right now it's again going to be a 3v4 situation happening, right?
Look at the placement of Hitman at this point. He could just go for some good nades, or he could just spray down at that smoke, and yeah, that's what he's trying to do. Look at that, they're trying to rotate from the vehicle, but is it possible for them, or if that vehicle is going to get bursted? Well, I guess only Rox goes for the smokes. He is actually getting contested a lot. Look at that, the spray is actually trying to decimate him out, but yeah, Team Revenant goes out once and again, guns blazing onto Team GT if I'm not wrong. That's going to be amazing. Dark Lord goes down with a brutal bow. Cells Radiant cooking a nade. I guess this nade could actually cause a good amount of casualty in the lobby, but then again Radiant tries to go for the 1v1, but he's getting contested by a 1v2 fight coming up, but Radiant tries to do a 1v2. Oh, Radiant also goes down. Tactical Kid had been picked off. Clutch is going down. Top Fragger 69 trying to retaliate. Only Rox is going to be there with that UMP45 meta betting into his favor, and let's see how the casualties are going to build. Oh, that was a great spray, and look at that. Team Tactical is pretty much far away from the cover, and that is going to be very amazing. Well, I guess this is going to be the rebirth of Team Marcos Gaming's gun game.
Definitely, yes. I mean, Team Tactical was looking good when this fight started, but right now they are just falling down. Two players that have been really aggressive right now have just been down to the ground lately, and it's going to be Hitman. I mean, this is not something that I am really expecting, but on the other hand, you see the sides of Team Exo as well. Fears just make sure to take one player off completely. That's going to be two. Okay, that's going to be two finishes, but on the other hand, they do have lost Sensei, and that's a good player being lost from the sides of Team Exo. And eventually, if one more player goes down, it can be really, really difficult. You talk about the fight between Tactical and Marcos Gaming. I guess two players from Tactical are already down to the ground, but are being revived back. Whereas we do have our more attention on the fights happening between UDOG and OR as well. Oh, okay.
Yeah. A lot of fights are going to be there, and look at that. We have another zone string coming up, and that's going to be 45% in the water, and the remaining is going to be in the landmass area. That's going to be interesting to watch how the casualties are going to build. Meanwhile, if I'm not wrong, that's Team Revenant trying to cut the rotations, and if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Team Marcos Gaming and Team Tactical trying to battle it out. But yes, we have Kid Last Man Standing, who has been picked up for the 2 times from the hands of Team Marcos Gaming, but now it's going to be the 3rd and final time. If he goes down, his team will go down, and with that, I guess we are going to see some new casualties coming up in the lobby, and that could be the first ever squad to get eliminated at this location.
I do definitely agree with that. But Raider, look at Zone. What is placement of the players? I mean, a straight line on the water corners is what each and every team is holding right now.
Yeah.
I mean, each one wants the center, but with that, you are being surrounded with n number of teams, my friend, that you need to be really, really careful about. There you go, 8-bit Riot. Okay, 8-bit Riot, there will spotting some from the sides of UDOG as well, but eventually he'll just need to satisfy himself with damage. On the other hand, Marcos Gaming right now have decided to disengage from the ongoing fight with 3 for themselves, but will be losing 1 player as a trade. So yeah, definitely not a really good deal, I would say, but you got 3, so yeah, you just rackled up 3 finishes, 3 finish points for yourself, and eventually if you find a great position, that can be really, really great for your entire team.
But that could be great. But eventually, in the map of Miramar, it's very exposed and it's kind of it's very very tiring towards that how this team is going to retaliate, how the casualties are going to burn from this location. Look at that team Rivalry. Jukega nahi is just trying to be in the zone at this point, but is it possible for him to reach the zone locations? Well, let's see what eventually happens. Let's see how the casualties are going to burn for the team. But eventually, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be team Skylightz Gaming and team Rivalry coming from the northern corner, and there could be team Entity also coming from the shadows, and that's going to be amazing to watch. But from the western end, we have team Revenant coming and push in. If I talk about team Insane, well, they are also in the western corner, but we have another team that's going to be Marcos Gaming and team Tactical in the vicinity of Los Angeles. I don't know what they are trying to do, but this is going to be the third zone slamming in very very soon, and I guess these zone damages are going to increase anytime.
Is this for real? I mean, what? Why are you still holding the areas of Los Leones when the zone is way too away from you? Finally, a good decision by Tactical Kid there, just finding a vehicle for himself and moving forward for looking for the zone. But on the other hand, the zone is just playing a real bad game today with each and every player down there. I mean, I'm not a bad one here. Trust me, guys. It's just the zone being really bad and really tough with this player. The competition is just getting more and more intense. On the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team OR. Right now, they lost 2 players and they got 1 finish for themselves. That is something definitely not working out in their favor. Team Insane getting sprayed down a lot by the sides of Team 8-Bit Juicy there. 1 player is already down to the ground, but he will be eliminated by the sides of Team Celsius. Adi is down to the ground. Team UDOG. Okay, that's just gonna be multiple teams having onto the sides of Team Insane there, and there you go. 1 more grenade causing a lot more of problems. Team Insane getting eliminated completely by the sides of Team UDOG as well as 8-Bit. That's 2 teams just building so much pressure on 1 team there.
Of course, a sandwich situation is there right now. Team Celsius still trying to retaliate. They have got 1 frag into the perspective, but Team UDOG and Team 8-Bit are just constantly trying to remind them that we are here, we are going to decimate you. And when if I talk about Team EXO, well, Nexus has been picked up by the hands of Team EXO. That's a great casualty for the team. Eventually, they are just trying to stand it tall in the fight. They're just trying to retaliate more and more at this location. But yeah, EXO Panko meanwhile going for Team Forever and just eliminating and just decimating the teams right now, decimating the hosts of Team Forever. I wanted to see that the comeback, but yeah, the comeback is not there. The casualty is there for sure, but let's see how the fights are going to initiate from this location. You can see that Team EXO has got 4 great finishes into their perspective. Okay, there we go. The 5th one is also there. It's interesting to watch that how the retaliation is going to be there, but at this point, a loss of Sensei, the Erangel, is going to be very tormenting for the team. But yes, they have been able to get some good frags into the perspective, and that is something they have to be pretty aware about. That is something they have to be pretty vigilant about. So yeah, it's great. It's very very amazing to watch that how these teams are trying to retaliate, but Team Nugget getting the crossfires. But if you remember, Darshita, day number 3, Team Nugget did a great 1v3 on Team OR also.
I do remember that. I mean, that's not something that you can easily forget. On the other hand, you talk about Team Forever. Well, it's gonna be always the last surviving player needs to be really careful. But right now, Somraj is a bit careful more. Troy gets down to the ground, but Somraj gets instantly traded there and there. Right now, Noob is all set to go in for that revival, and so are the players of Team Skylightz Gaming there. But what's gonna happen? It's a complete rich game being played there, and I guess that's causing a lot more of problems. Team Rivalry, on the other hand, is just waiting behind patiently, and at any moment that rotation can cause a lot more of problems for Skylightz Gaming as well as the other team. But the zone, oh my god, Impala, not Impala even, it's still holding 50% of the water areas and just completely taking to the waters. The map of Miramar is really thirsty right now to just have a swim in this waters. But jokes apart, on the other hand, you see this side of Team 8-Bit players going down. Team Skylightz Gaming, Kamla Boy down to the ground, not just down but completely done and dusted. It's gonna be the last surviving player there, has been caught as well. There you go, he departs, and it's the elimination of Team Skylightz Gaming.
Skylightz Gaming says goodbye to the lobby. Eventually, last day they did that amazing stuff where they got the first winner chicken in their first ever map. But in this day, day number 4, a new day, a new sunshine was there, but not for them. Eventually, Team Entity has gained 4 amazing frags into their favor. It's going to be very amazing how these teams are trying to retaliate. The 4th zone is going to slam in very soon. Exo Snacks goes out with the brutal blow of Team Nugget, and yeah, that is what is going to happen. Team Nugget holding that good corner, and if I'm not wrong, Darshada, the eastern corner, the eastern ridges of Miramar map is somewhere where Team Nugget has hold a very good opportunity.
Position, yes. I mean, I do agree with that, right? Position is a good thing, but again, you know, right, how bad the zone is playing today.
Yeah,
I mean, you
of
don't
course.
trust that. On the other hand, UDOG India will be taking our Esports Rockstar down, not just down, but completely done and dusted. Kennery, the last surviving player who's just been falling down the vehicle since the beginning of today, right now is just running for his life, gets spotted, gets down to the ground once again. A big mistake. You don't run into a complete open area without blocking the visions of your enemy, and that's where the problem is all about. On the other hand, you talk about 8-bit players are just a lot just into a lot more of problems right now. Grenades are being tossed from another side, and there you go, 2 players are down to the ground. It's right, the last surviving player. At any moment now he can face a really harsh rush coming from the sides of Team Celsius or Team OR as well. So yeah, he needs to be really very careful about everything happening all around.
Of course, being careful is going to be the only thing which is going to let you be the winner chicken dinner team. And eventually you can see that Team Enigma trying their real best to actually retaliate, get more frags into their perspective. They have got 4 amazing frags. Meanwhile, if I'm not wrong, that's Team Marcos Gaming decimating Team Revenant. Oh wow, Marcos Gaming still coming back into the fight after Team Tactical's blow. That is interesting to watch. Eventually, if I'm not wrong, Enigma Segi goes out with a brutal blow of a nade by finishing by actually, let's say, knocking out the guy. That's going to be Entity Noob, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there we go. Can they only see going again with a brutal nade? Let's see, is it possible for them to get that connection? The nades are there. Let's see, connection are being made or not. That's going to be the major thing. Sagi from the right angle is trying to provide some good nades, and if I'm not wrong, that's Candy on the C and Edgy 2OP trying to decimate from the front angle. Oh, that Molly could be very serious for the team. And yeah, there we go. The Molly got set connection, and yeah, it's getting that connection. It's going to be interesting to watch. But look at Rivalry Wizard going in the water body so that eventually he could just play safe. Yesterday also, day before yesterday, if I'm not wrong, we saw this kind of placement. Eventually, Team Enigma was able to put down Team Entity, and once again Team Entity is out of the lobby. Team Celsius eliminating Team Marcos Gaming. Interesting one. There we go. 2 more teams have been picked off. Another guy goes down from Team Esports. Well, we have a lot of team going down at this location. 5th zone is gonna shrink in about 30 seconds, and we are left with only 6 teams in the lobby, and that's gonna be only 16 player. OR also goes down. UDOG meanwhile decimating Team Forever's. OS both is still out of the zone, but he has to be in the zone. Meanwhile, Team Nugget also securing a very good charm position on the eastern backyard areas, but that's gonna be Nugget and Anustopi and some other guy. That could be Profi if I'm not wrong. But then Wes Bolte going for the heal battle. He has 7 first aid kits. He is not going to move a muscle unless he is required to. So that is why he's just playing really very safe. Look at that. He spots one guy. He's not going to move a muscle at this point. If he actually does it, if he actually knocks one guy, another guy from the team Nugget is going to eliminate him for sure.
Absolutely. Right now, he will be going in for that heal battle. But on the other hand, you look at Team Nugget, they are just waiting for him to come out. And the moment he pops out of that window, he is just done and dusted. On the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team Rivalry Wizard, just being a fish right now and just trying to be as calm as possible. The sides of Team Enigma, well, a while ago, I really loved the way these players entered the zone, one behind the other in a complete straight line is the way these players have entered the zone. So yeah, it's really amazing to watch the way they approach the zone right now. But once again, there are n number of fights going all around. Wizard can be a big surprise to the back of Enigma, while Celsius can just go ham over them. So Team Enigma needs to be a bit careful of what's to their front and what's to their back. But on the other hand, to the sides of Apollo there, he is just on the urge of spotting some new players, just gathering more and more information.
Well, of course, there could be some new variables writing right now. And there we go. I guess UDOG Dave is going to be the last man standing on the upper ridges, and his other 2 teammates are going to be in the downward ridges. That's going to be Kishu and Rambo trying to retaliate. Rivalry Wizard, oh, looking very tormented by the hands of Team Enigma. Look at that. They're just trying to decimate with some nades. But I guess those good nades are not going to get that casualty. And I guess this was the compound where the battle between Team Tactical and Team Insane went on, if I'm not wrong. So it was going to be very interesting to watch how this compound is going to to get a result for this team, which is going to actually hold it up. That's going to be Team Enigma. Team Celsius also coming up in the fight. Look at that. They are just trying to be very, very safe, because now Team UDOG India is also trying to pressurize from the western areas, and yeah, of course, they are actually getting competition from Team Enigma also. 5 teams are left in the lobby, 15 more players are going to be there. Eventually, let's see which team is going to get that victory, get that winner chicken dinner into the perspective. But now I'm eagerly waiting for the next zone to slam in. Well, that's going to be the 6th zone. Let's wait and let's hope this zone is going to turn in really ugly for the teams. And there we go.
Oh.
Team Celsius going on the northern corner. Team UDOG India pretty close to the zone. They can easily hold it up. But Team Enigma and Team Nugget and Team Rivalry had to contest it for. But I guess that's it for Rivalry Wizard, because now he has to climb up. And if he is going to be able to climb it up, he's going to get contested by the hands of Team Celsius and Team Enigma, both of them.
I do really agree on these points, but on the other hand, when you see the sides of Team Rivalry right now, what is this alone man gonna do? I mean, he's just waiting behind, but what more does he has to play around with? On the other hand, you talk about Team Nugget, Team Celsius, they do have good opportunities into their hand, but it's just about you making use of that opportunity and not just letting it go there and there. There you go, Bacha OP with that vehicle finding a good spot for himself, but Rex is just all concentrated towards Wizard, and he just doesn't want to let go one single finish. He'll be trying his level best with as many grenades as he can, but my friend, you are not really sure about the position and you are just wasting your utilities onto really wrong positions. Players right now, sides of Team Nugget have already started to move towards the zone, but the sides of Team Enigma right now are going ham over the sides of Team Celsius.
It's amazing to watch that how the battle is going to fluctuate from this point. And look at that, we have 4 teams still trying to retaliate a lot, and you can see that Team Celsius going out with the guns blazing need. Let's see what eventually these needs are going to put them. And if I talk about Team Enigma, well, they are pretty much cornered, but yes, of course, some other teams like UDOG India are pretty freestyle at this point, and they are just trying to retaliate more and more. And look at that, Anush 2OP has been spotted, the spray is there, but Scarl is not that stable as compared to, let's say, M416, and that is why the sprays were not connected, if I'm not wrong. But yes, Enigma going again and again with the needs. I guess Celsius Max also goes on with the nade. Apollo going to be the last man standing of his team, and with this, I guess Team Celsius is counting a lot of pressure. And yes, it is going to be very amazing to watch that how the retaliation is going to be there at the last moment. I guess Celsius, one more guy, that's going to be Apollo. He is not going to play a very safe battle. Look at that, he's damaged a lot. He's at 10 HP at this point, getting a sprays from multiple angles. He is able to heal himself, that's good. He is able to patch himself, but eventually Team Enigma goes with a smooth blow, and then we are left with Team UDOG India, Team Nugget, and that's going to be Team Enigma with the highest manpower.
Team Enigma right now is really looking good, Raider. I mean, 11 finishes. They do have a great chunk of zone for themselves, and they are really looking good today. But they even need to have their eyes on the other teams surrounding them. They definitely need that winner chicken dinner, and there you go. The zone is somewhat into their favors, but the next zone shrink can cause a lot more of problems. Bacha OP there has been caught by the players of UDOG. Well, he is down to the ground, but he is just the sides of Team UDOG is just trying to completely eliminate him off the lobby. Whereas when you talk about the sides of Team Enigma, they are just being patient, but a big twist in the turn. Both of the teams are out of the zone, and it's just I guess Team UDOG having a great favor and a great chunk of the zone.
Yeah, of course, they have got a very great chunk of the zone at this point, but eventually Team Enigma is also eager to actually just push in the zone, but they are getting contested from the western region. Well, that's going to be Team Nugget, which are constantly trying to remind them that, yeah, we are here, you have to fight us. Eventually to be in the zone, and that is exactly Team Enigma is trying to do. But Team UDOG India is looking very sharp, and they're just trying to pressurize from the horizontal angle. They are just trying to pressurize from the upper ridges, and that is something Team Enigma is not eager to wait. But yeah, Nugget goes down with a brutal blow. Team UDOG India already getting pressurized. Look at that, Rambo is very lit. But if I talk about Dave, well, he has spotted some guys, if I'm not wrong, and yeah, there we go. Bacha is actually getting spotted. Bacha could be picked up from this location. He is just trying to put some single dodge space, but yeah, it's not getting any correction at this point.
He is just trying his level best, but eventually facing a lot more of problems. Right now, I again love the way Team Enigma is... I mean, look at the way Team Enigma is just approaching the zone, man, oh man. What is just happening? Enigma Shaggy will be going in for some great grenades. Team UDOG can be into a lot more of problems, and there you go. One player has been caught. Rambo down to the ground. Kendi Undisi, what a beautiful name, what a beautiful spray you have, my friend. But upcoming grenades can cause a lot more of problems for this team, and they really need to be careful about the same. One more grenade. No, please don't get. Oh my God, Dave goes down with that grenade. It's Kendi Undisi just eliminating. What? With a blink of eye, Team Enigma got their winner chicken dinner. What an amazing way to start the map of Miramar there and there. Oh my God.
It was very amazing. It was very amazing to watch that how the retaliation was there. It was very amazing to watch that how that last zone actually turned out for Team Enigma. They were out of zone, but eventually they pushed in really very harshly. And again, I thought UDOG India had the upper hand just because they had the higher ridge. They had the, let's say, good amount of manpower because they had three guys left in the lobby. So I thought there could have been a great retaliation coming up, but the way Team Enigma performed, the way they outperformed everybody else in the lobby, well, it was very interesting to watch. Initially, they crushed down Team Entity, then they came back in the lobby and they tried to decimate some other teams, which were, let's say, Rivalry. They tried to put down Team Rivalry, then Nugget was onto the crossfire. They put them down also. Team Celsius was trying to retaliate. Good nades were there. Apollo, if I'm not wrong, was the last man standing of Team Celsius. He was also picked out by the hands of Team Entity, and with that, I guess Team Entity is being a very consistent team. In the last match also, in the map number 1, they were able to get some good frags and good consistent points into their perspective because Team Entity was the one which actually got that elimination of Team War. But in this match, they actually did it. They got the winner with the chicken with some good amount of frags.
They definitely did. I mean, it was a much needed comeback. I said this the previous day, I guess, that it's gonna be the day of comebacks, and I definitely see that happening. Today's day, the previous day is just a day of comeback for many of the team. The previous day we saw Team Mayavi, performing really good. Today we saw Team Enigma performing really good. So yeah, indeed we can eventually see many new teams just coming out of nowhere and performing really good. It was 8-bit. It was Team Insane. I mean, many new faces, many new team names that they are performing. We are knowing them since a long time, but for specifically talking about Grand Slam right now, definitely they are just a new name that I do have right now. So yep, this map of Miramar definitely turned around to be something really bigger, something really better for the sides of Team Enigma, and the way they approached the zone, I mean, that was something I really loved. Not a big rotation, but a simple rotation. The first rotation was a straight rotation they took, and the next rotation that they took was 3 players, 4-on-4 players, I mean, surviving. They're just covering all the sides. That was just so beautiful.
Wow, beautiful and carnages, the chaos which they put in the lobby, it was amazing. All the teams were actually under pressure by the hands of Team Enigma, be it Team Celsius, be it Team Rivalry, be it Team Nugget, be it Team UDOG India. Everybody was feeling the wrath of that team. But let's talk about the highlights which are going to be here.
Oh, well, these highlights, they just take us twice to the moments that have already passed. Yeah, you do agree to that, right? These amazing moments that have passed, we just get to feel that once again. I mean, look at this. The way these players were approaching the zone, it was a complete straight line at the coastal areas. And I wasn't really expecting that to happen. But moreover, as the zone shift came in, things changed drastically. This is something I was talking about, right?
The zone shift, the fights, the casualty which these teams are trying to build are actually the results of the zone shift, the play zone which was made right now. 50% of the zone in the waters eventually. In the 5th zone, we saw that, and that was something all the teams feared about because when most of the zone, or should I say 50% of the zone in the water, you have only 50% of the remaining area, and it's like you are in the 4th zone, but still you are going to get the area which is going to be as small as compared to the 5th zone. Well, that is something these teams had to get an account for, and look at that. Look at the rotation Team Enigma was trying to cut. They had the complete northern corner cleared out for them, and then eventually when the battle was there for the 7th zone, well, again the consistency was there for the team. Team Nugget was trying to push in, but they were unable to pressurize. They went in from the western angle, but Team Enigma, look at that sweet nade coming up. I guess that was Mac, if I'm not wrong. Okay, that was Max, which was poked out, but then Apollo was the last man standing, and he came into that 4x scope. He was just obliterated by the hands of Team Enigma, but then eventually, if I talk about, look at that, this battle, Team Enigma was on the lower ridges, but eventually a good rotation resulted in a very good placement for them, and then they were in the higher ridges, and look at that, they were easily able to pick them out.
Definitely. I mean, what a beautiful match of Miramar it's been, right? the way it started, the way it went, and the way it ended, it turned out to be completely tipsy turvy, table turning. I mean, I just running low out of phrases to just talk of what was happening at this point of time. I really felt like it's gonna be a lot more of chaos, to be honest. I mean, you see that, right? There's just a straight line in between those water bodies and those coastal lines, and there you see each and every. But start of the match, the players shining really bright. Enigma Shaggy going all out for 8 finishes, Tactical Hitman, Best Companion, that's 3 revival, and Enigma Eggy once again for final elimination, that's 3 finishes for him in total, and a distance travel of 10,474.
Look at the stats coming up. These are the star of the match. These are the guys which actually made the match that much enjoyable. But eventually you can see that Enigma Saggy, well, getting 8 frags is not that easy in this kind of lobby, and eventually getting 1 bonus point and then getting the damage of 820. Well, that's a great strategy for the guy, and eventually it actually put their team in a very good placement point and a very good finishes point also. But then if I talk about Team Tactical, well, there was Hitman from Team Tactical representing the team, getting the Best Companion award for himself with the 3 revival points. Health restore points gonna be 28. Well, that's a very small chunk of time points, I guess. But yes, survival time is 630. Team Tactical was eliminated quite early, but yeah, they did their job. Whatever they wanted to do, Team Tactical was trying to retaliate. They actually managed to put Marcos Gaming on the back areas. That was Evo Italy, I guess, who was picked up by the hands of Team Tactical, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was very, very amazing to watch that how Team Tactical and Team Marcos Gaming were trying to retaliate, but eventually Marcos Gaming came up with the upper hand, and Team Tactical Hitman and his teammates were wiped out. Tactical Kid was the last man standing. He was cutting the rotation, but eventually he was unable to do that kind of amazing stuff. Enigma Edgy coming up with the final finisher. Enigma Saggy will be the MVP, and Enigma Edgy will be the final elimination of the team, and that was something very amazing to watch about. But that's all about the match number 2. It's going to be match number 3 coming up very, very soon. Group B and C, if I'm not wrong, is going into the battle, and the map of Erangel is going to be in the limelight.
Yes, it is going to be the map of Erangel, the classic map where we eventually don't see these vehicle bursts happening. I mean, please, thankfully, it doesn't happen in the map of Erangel. But I still do recall what our esports gallery did. I mean, why did that just happen? You fell down of the vehicle not just once but twice. That into 2 different maps. I just hope you don't do a hat trick, please. Please don't be doing that in the map of Erangel once again. I mean,
it's all your wishes.
I've just stopped wishing, because whatever I'm wishing, it's just happening. And eventually, if I just say something wrong, I mean, no, I just don't want to be someone with a bad face here. Please don't do that to me. But jokes apart, the map of Erangel is really a classic game being played, and eventually in this map, it's like a smooth gameplay happening sometimes, or sometimes it's just completely like very harsh play we get to see. So yeah, I'm just pretty excited, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Any predictions that you have, Raider, right now? Any kind of predictions or anything that you have in your mind before we head towards the map of Erangel?
Well, I would like to say, first of all, the initial clashes will be there. Of course, 1 or 2 teams are going to get that tug of war into their consideration, but eventually we will see some new faces coming up with the winner chicken dinner, as we saw in this game. Team Enigma, if I'm not wrong, was the one which actually lifted the trophy. It was very amazing that how these teams tried to retaliate. They tried to do that job. Entity Gaming yesterday or day before yesterday got that victory into their perspective, but they were unable to do and repeat that stuff. But yeah, Enigma Gaming once again got that winner chicken dinner in the first match. It was Team Orangutan. Well, they have been getting winner chicken dinner every day, if I'm not wrong. They are really very well, and they are getting close to getting that, let's say, lead into the leaderboard charts. We were unable to see the leaderboard in the previous match, but let's see, is the leaderboard going to come from the production end? Well, if that is there, we are going to see that how Team Orangutan is maintaining the lead, or some other team is going to jump back. Team Celsius will be there or not, or Team Exo is going to bounce. Team Insane is where right now, because look at the leaderboard. Leaderboard is something which is there, and if the leaderboard is there, the teams are able to judge themselves that where they are and how they have to push into the leaderboard.
I do agree with that, but some suspense is needed, Raider. Some suspense is really needed, and that's what the production end is right now doing with us. But let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the 3rd match for the day, the match of Erangel once again, and after this match we are going to head towards Loco. So if you haven't downloaded Loco yet, make sure you guys do that, and don't be missing with any kinds of these actions happening. I know already most of you have downloaded Loco, but share it with your friends as well. It's a huge and a big useful information for them, so that they won't be missing any kind of actions happening on the day 4 of semi-finales of AMD presents Sky Esports Grand Slam. And now it's the time for actions. It's the time for many things. Just any moment now, we'll be heading ourselves towards the map of Erangel, and I do wish once again for some great play zones happening. I mean, we saw teams just losing a fight or maybe something like that because of the play zone shift or the zone shrinks happening. So yeah, that's something that is a big competition right now. So eventually, yes, if the play zone plays a big game here, all the games just fade away, right?
Play zone and the first ever flight path. Well, that is something
Yeah,
we have to be
exactly.
eagerly waiting for, because this is something which can't actually turn in really very ugly for you. But eventually, I just pray that our leaderboard is going to be here, because that is something I'm eager to wait about, eager to watch, that how the leaderboard is going to shift, how the teams are going to engage, how the teams are going to postulate new strategies. And there we go. I guess we have heard it, and the leaderboard is going to be here anytime soon. And yeah, we have got the leaderboard. Team Orangutan, after playing 13 matches, still is on the top of the lobby. We have 185 points for them, and I guess Team Orangutan is going to be the only team which has got 3 winner chicken dinner into their consideration. Look at the number of consistency they have got: 93 for finishes, 92 for the position points. Well, amazing.
This is what we look forward to, right?
Yeah.
When we every day talk about consistency, this is something that I really want: the balance between finishes and position. On the second position, Team Entity with 173. Celsius on the third with 153. I mean, what is this? 173, 153, 185. What is the difference between these points? Come on, it's a huge it's a huge difference. But at the same time, it's like 15 to 12 points. I mean, a huge gap to cover, but not so
One good
huge at the
match.
same time. Exactly, one good match or one bad match. It just depends, right? One good match you go up, one bad match you come down. It's all about that. Talking about Celsius, well, with one chicken dinner they have managed to take the third place, whereas teams like 8-Bit and Team Nugget with 2 for themselves are just on the fourth and fifth position right now. Something. Some small things, some small differences between position points is just gonna lead these differences. Team Mayavi on the sixth position with 127, Reckoning Esports with 124, Rivalry with a total of 118 for them.
Number of points are very, very good for the teams right now, but teams like Team Nugget, which have been qualified from the quarterfinale, teams like Team Mayavi, teams like, let's say, Revenge Esports, they have to gain a lot of pace in the lobby, because eventually you have got fifth and sixth position. That's great for you, but yeah, look at the teams coming from the bottom areas. Teams like Rivalry, teams like Reckoning, well, they are making their day at this point, and eventually, I guess Team Insane Esports is also pretty close to the scene. And I just waiting for the next position pace to turn, and let's see how the teams from 9th to, let's say, 12th are actually performing. 9th to, actually, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be 9 to 16 leaderboard coming up very, very soon. So I'm very eager to wait and watch that. Where are the position points for those teams? And yeah, there we go. We have the leaderboard coming up. Team Enigma with actually 9th position after getting a huge winner chicken dinner in the previous days, but then the placement points are not that great for them. Actually, the let's say consistency is there, but it's not enough for them. Eventually, 116 point for them. Insane Esports, one of those aggressive teams in the lobby, after playing 14 matches, only have 74 finishes and 40 position points. Look at the number of inconsistency going on in the lobby. They have not secured any winner in the chicken dinner. Still, they are in the top 10. Well, that's a great thing, but eventually, buddy, you have to gain a lot of pace and gain a lot of position point, to be exact.
I do agree with that. Right now, the positions from 9th to 13th are just fighting a different battle there. You see the difference between point. It's like 2, 4, 5, or somewhere 10 as well. So these differences between point is just getting them into a different battle. And you know, right, top 10 teams, sometimes it's a relief for them to be in the top 10, but at the same time, the 5th to the 10th position somewhere is deep down there. It feels like with one bad match we can just go down, and that is not something that they really want to happen. So yeah, that's going to be the case. But on the other hand, you talk about Revenge Esports, Hyderabad Hydras, Team Forever with a total of 90 and 77 respectively. I mean, they are trying to give their level best, but they are just lacking a single point behind. I mean, some small things are causing a lot more problems for teams on the second side, but the teams that are from 17 to 24, man, oh man, You just got today's day to make a comeback, and if you are not able to do that, that's done. I mean, just that's done, right? There's nothing to discuss on it more.
This is it, guys. This is it. It's a do or die situation coming up. We
Yeah,
are left with only
exactly.
10 more matches, if I'm not wrong. 6 map up tomorrow and 4 more maps tomorrow today. So, yes, of course. Let's see how the battle is going to be there. Let's see how the game is going to be postulated from this angle. And there we go. We have hashtag 17 to 24. The leaderboard stats is there. I really feel for Team R Esports at this point. I don't know what they are trying to do. Kennedy is just trying to jump from the vehicle, just trying to get knocked out at that point. But eventually he has to bounce back for sure. Old Esports getting from the bottom list is going to be at 41 points, slightly more than R Esports, let's say. OR Esports getting 2 more points into their perspective. Team Revenant coming back for this day, but yeah, that's not enough for them. They have to gain a lot of pace averagely. Day number 2 was, let's say, average for the team. They were able to get some good 30 to 40 points, but then day number 3 and day number 1 was not that effective, and I guess day number 4 is also not going into their favor at this point. But Team Marcos Gaming, 62 points for them. They were getting contested in the last few battles, but yeah, they are able to retaliate. Team Tactical Esports, 5 more points from Team Marcos Gaming. That's great for them, but eventually it's not that great. But yeah, if I talk about Team X-Park, slowly but steadily this team is rising, and I guess in any time soon we are going to see this team after this match number 3. We are going to see this team in the page number 2.
Of course, that's going to be the case. But Raider, for this side, I mean, from 17 to 24, the only belief that I right now have is just today's day. I mean, the last hope is just today's days. After the end of today's day, if you are not at least on the second side of overall rankings, that's done then. You are just running really low on points. But let's just talk more about schedule. Well, match 1, match 2 done and dusted. That was Erangel and the match of Miramar. Right now, we are just going to head towards the map of Erangel once again. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah. It is a very interesting map to be exact, but eventually match number 1 was conquered by the hands of Team Orangutan once again. Match number 2 was conquered by the hands of Team Enigma, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that was the team. But eventually map number 3, well, the map of Miramar, where Group B and C is going to head out into the battle. And once again, our fan favorite teams are going to be there, such as Team X-Pac, Hyderabad Hydras, Reckoning Esports, Oldwood, Orangutan, Blind, and other than that, 2 qualified teams from the quarterfinale. That's going to be Revenge Esports and Team Mayavi. One thing, Darshita, about the group number B, well, we have teams like X-Pac going in the bottom of the list, teams like Reckoning Esports going in the bottom of the list, teams like Oldwood Esports at a 23 position. But then we also have Team Orangutan in this same exact group, which is actually the table topper.
I do agree with that. I do believe that some teams are gonna rise. Like it's just a ray of hope, I would say, that I have of some teams rising. But you know, right? Sometimes these hopes are something that can cause you a lot more of problems. So coming back to Group B, I mean, yes, there are multiple teams that we do hope of rising. And coming to Group C, Skylightz, 8-Bit, Tactical, Enigma, Marcos, Team Forever, UDOG, and Team Nugget. The 2 qualified teams, that's UDOG and Team Nugget. Somewhere at the corner of my heart, I do feel like these qualified teams should start performing. Even if they started today, even if they started right now, they can do it. But eventually, if they don't, there's no going back. There's no going back in time, and it's just going back in time, realizing your mistake. But you can't undo them, right? You just have to wait for the next tournament. That's it.
Grand Slam will be over, just like a, let's say, a blink of an eye. It will be over if you are not going to perform, because now we are left with only 10 maps. Look at that. It's like that yesterday only we announced that we are going to have 30 matches, and now we are left with only 10 matches. It's like 1/3 of the matches left right now. 2/3 of the 2/3 of the semi-finale journey is already over. But yes, of course, flight path is already going to be here right now anytime soon. And yeah, we have got the flight path, and I am going to welcome our co-caster. That's going to be Arka for the map. So eventually, guys, we are going to welcome Arka. How are you, Arka?
I've been doing great, my friend, and I can see that, there's been a lot of changes in the points table, and that seems to be, making me a little more excited than usual. The point difference starts off from the 8th position itself, right? From 8th, we have 118 until the 12th position, we have 112. So the point difference is less than 6 points over there. I know if UDOG also will be considered on the 13th position, all they have to do is gain another probably 15 points to make sure that they reach the top 10 position. So from the 8th position itself, we have a challenges being held by all the teams. So let's see which are the teams which will be going into the next round in the top 10. All these things said and done, the flight path right now looks like going it started from the side of military base, ending up at Lipovka, hoping to see some water bodies to be involved in the circle again. But the northern side of the map is in a bit of a concern, because obviously those teams which are choosing to go to the northern side of the map will have a long journey up ahead of them.
I do believe that this match is going to change things around. I mean, Erangel is a classic map, and each and everyone has played Erangel many a time. So definitely that's going to be the case. But coming back to your point, water bodies, well, you wanted that. Here you go. We do have some water bodies covered up, but eventually it will depend on the upcoming zones as well. To be more precise on my point, right now we do have sides of Team 8-bit to the areas of Novoroknoi down there, and that's going to be the only team being. I mean, just look at that. It's just the only team in those areas, and the complete area is theirs, right?
Absolutely, but at the same time, as we were speaking about Novo, right? We have 8-bit over there, but one key player from the side of Team OGs, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Ash, has taken the other side, right? So he could be that key player who can restrict players from coming in from the western side of the bridges. But at the same time, we can see some early skirmishes happening over here. It's Forever, Team Forever already getting a finish in the name, and they're rotating around earlier itself, and they're playing a divided gameplay, and that is going to be the point of concern for this team, because the circle is making sure that it has 90% of the players in the first circle itself. So the chances of them coming into a clash when they're rotating is really, really high. So better to stick with your team rather than being alone is what I believe is going to work out for most of these players. But ultimately, they all know that the drop locations of the clashes are not going to be, something the teams will be looking out for. The final 10 matches is where they have come when it comes to the semi-finale. So everybody will be looking forward for those early finish points, or probably placement points, in such a way that they do not have to worry about one another. But one other thing which I'm able to see with these players going on with the vehicles, right? So for example, Team DH, if you have played this game better, we have been seeing in the previous times, people tend to destroy the front tires of those three vehicles and then try to get in. But the skirmish over here started off. Yuva is going to land that shot with that UMP. The confirmation is also coming in from his side itself, so that's going to be easy picking coming in from the side of Team 15.
Yes, first finish point. I mean, not first finish point, as I mean to say here. Definitely they will get one, but look at Maxi right now. He is just waiting patiently. I mean, he knows that yes, I have lost one of my teammate, and right now going aggressive can cause me a lot of problems. And I guess being passivistic, being a bit more passive right now can help this team gain a lot of position points. But at the same time, eventually if you get into a fight, it will cause you a problem. They do have a vehicle to work around with. That's going to be a great news for them. But I just am wondering what that lone player was doing there, and why were you just so away from your teammate, my friend?
Exactly, that was my point, right? So it's important for them not to be alone. It's important for them to stick together, because everybody wants to stay inside the circle. Make sure that they welcome one another with a lot of lead, as they're going to, there's going to be rotation clashes every now and then. For now, I know two teams have already been rewarded with 1 kill each, whereas the other two, or the bottom two teams which will be present with already losing a player, will be trying to almost play for placement points from here on. I know that 8-bit from this time is going to eventually loot up as quickly as possible. Probably we might have a deja vu moment where they're going to come and bridge block the side of Novo and make sure that they do not allow anybody to cross over. But that is going to be the case only if the zone is going to fall in to the other side of the map itself. But all these things said and done, headhunters are going to stick together with equal distances in 4 different vehicles. So easy backup is going to be provided in case somebody gets shot. But at the same time, we have to see which is the team they're going to be clashing with. Blind Esports on the other side, somewhere I feel that this team will have to wake up and perform a little more better, because the positions they're holding is not, it can be a very challenging position, because 17th position is what they have with 74 points. I know that the finish points is just 42 what they're holding, and they're not able to find the right kind of momentum. But yes, 74 points, another 30 points, they can easily come into challenge the top 10 position. So Blind Esports have to pick up the pace. Skylightz Gaming on the other side, the slithering snakes, which I call them, they will be there at the top 10 at any cost. somehow they'll make it into the top 10 at any cost. Right now they're at the 11th position with 112 points, but that is not going to stop them, because ultimately we have been speaking about them having the same number of finish points and position points, so they can balance it out, play a little more better, probably come into the top 10 by the end of the day.
That balance is going to be really important, and I do believe they will come to the top 10. It's just about one good match. You play a match, or
Absolutely.
you play a one good match, you get to the top. But as I said, advantages and disadvantages. One bad map can cause you a lot. On the other hand, the sides of team UDOG right now in Pochinki, they decide to be really calm with their performance today. As you know, right, this team is really running low on points, and they need to gather as
Absolutely.
much as they can. TN Pro, that's going to be team Nugget. Okay, that's good. They have two vehicles to be precise, two vehicles to work around with, get in for rotation, and just find themselves something really good. I mean, a height advantage or some or the other advantage to themselves.
Absolutely, but at the same time, the rotation clashes which we keep speaking about seems to happen any second now, because we're able to see that Nuggets are trying to push in towards the side of Milta, where we already saw that there was probably Celsius or somebody was already dropped in this location, and they were holding that position as well. But let's not forget, towards the side of Ruins' team X Park, they are at the rock bottom of the table, right? So I do believe that this is the team. I'm so sorry, they are at the 18th position right now with 70 points, right? So they've got 44 finish points, whereas they have only got 26 position points. So if they start to play a little safe, a little passive, try to survive until the last second, the last second circle, I do believe that they can pick up a lot of points, make sure they come into the top 10 very, very easily. Because this team, if you go in for a frontal battle in front of them when 4 players are together, they're going to decimate you ruthlessly. So it's important for them to stick together, try to survive until the final 2 circles, and then try to achieve that winner chicken dinner, which is pretty much possible from them.
I do agree that is going to happen. I mean, not right now, but definitely we will see at least one chicken dinner from the sides of Team X Park, and trust me, that is really needed. On the other hand, you talk about Team Mayavi. Well, the previous day they were really looking good, but we'll have more discussions with the ongoing fight there. Team Orangutan and Team Revenge, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be a clash happening. Well, Team Revenge has just decided to not go in for that fight, but Pechan Khan is just having some different plans for himself. Will be waiting down right now.
Absolutely. I know that the chase is going to continue, but Revenge on the other side have something else to say. They want to just make sure that they get into safe covers as quickly as possible. Probably find the right kind of hard cover and then retaliate against an enemy. Because in an open field like this, when you're trying to take a fight and everybody are going in for rotations, the chances of you getting third parties is really, really high. So they do not want to do that as well. But on the other side, late into the circle, from the side of Georgia is going to be Team DH. So let's see how well these teams are going to perform, because ultimately these teams are Old Hood, I'm so sorry, OH, they have a lot of work to do, right? They're at the last second position of the table with just 41 points. They're playing for placement points, which is pretty much clear at this point of time. But ultimately all they have to do is pick up some kill points. We have all been saying that consistency can be only found when you have the equal number of kill points and placement points. So let's see whether they'll be able to find it out. It's going to be Bacha from the side of Team TN is looking out for somebody. Probably Nuggets can come into a position where they can secure some early kills, but one space in this whole circle, that is Milta Power, still abandoned. A bit of a shocker for me.
It is for me as well. Right now, I'm just looking forward to all these players, and I just can see a marathon going on. It's just about who is going to reach the zone fast, but that's not the case for the players, like the players of Reckoning in Hyderabad Hydras. You are just so far away from the zone, and if you don't get into a vehicle, don't run for your life, the blue zone is just gonna eat you up completely, and that will cause you a lot more of problems eventually. If the blue zone eats you up, somewhere like 30-40% gatekeeping can eat you up more, right? So that is something that you need to be really careful about. We have been saying this from the very first day, that paying your respect to the play zone is going to be really very important. But on the other hand, we do have the sides of Team Blind getting into the fights. That's going to be Pokemon down to the ground, but Believe is already down to the ground. It's going to be Blind Master departing. Well, he is being eliminated completely.
Absolutely, Ash is going to retaliate as much as possible, but we have to see how long he can survive this, because ultimately Blind have understood the game, but Blaster on the other side almost caught himself on fire. He changes his position. We can see that Kilu is also waiting for a person over here. Probably he knows that, OGs is going to go in for revival with one another. Inside that hard cover is where he stays. Now, Blind Esports need to understand that they've already come down to a 1v3, 2v3 situation, which might go against them at this point of time. G's on the other side are on the top. They want to take out their guns. Probably, they're having a little bit of a confusion, but all they have to understand is that Trigger will have to push in and make sure he goes in for an assault, because if he gets taken down, it's going to be hard. Blaster has already done the damage against the side of Team OGs. That is the reason why they're going to fall back at this point of time. They're going to come in from the bottom. I don't know what. Trigger probably saw something behind the glitch, and he did not find himself, tagging out anybody. Right now, he's going to put up grenades to defend himself so that he has time for healing. But on the other side, Blind Master is also getting some grenades for himself. Believer gets taken down. That's going to be UDOG coming into the picture. They want to come and have a piece of this cake. They're going to pick up as many frags as possible with that man advantage. Let's see which team is going to be surviving. UDOG Mystic comes in. He knows information. He sees Trigger behind the box, obviously. Or probably still not seen him now. I know that Trigger will have a better advantage of all these things, because you would have seen Mystic has walked into this crosshairs. Now 2 players have already come in case he gets tagged, in case he reveals his location. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Trigger is going to hide as much as possible, but finally he's going to be coming into the crosshairs of Dave. Dave is going to end the spree for the side of OGs. Now we have to see whether UDOG is going to continue this assault and take down the side of Team Blind, the large lone player of Blind above, but ultimately they've already got a casualty. This is going to be a question whether they're going to rush or not.
Many questions, not just one but many. Right now, Blind Killua, well, the last surviving player is just surviving barely on his HP, and I guess it's going to be really difficult for him to survive. There you go. All the players have decided to push him aggressively, and it's
absolutely
it's difficult. It's difficult for him to just stop a push of 4 players, and that's the start and end of everything. On the other hand, you just see the center of the zone.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I mean, I just love when zones play like this, literally. Sometimes
exactly.
I think that your prayers are going to only stick on to the map of Erangel and not Miramar. But yeah, it's done an amazing job so far. The circle for the first time is going to take that southern shift, where 50% of it is going to be in the waters, right? In the previous game as well, I heard you and Raider was speaking about how 50% of the water was being acquired as well. So this time it's going to be the same story, but ultimately let's see who's going to be reaching into the waters and trying to play for a heal battle.
Oh my god, I mean, what do I say next? What do I say next? I'm just falling out of words. But on the other hand, right now, I was just about to say that the center of the zone is just becoming more and more problematic to each and every player, and the zone shift came in, and it just became a more huge problem for each and every team there. But on the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team Marcos Gaming. Well, be careful. Revenge players have been caught. There you go, one player. Oh, okay. It was Team Nugget just stealing the kills. No, Team Nugget once again just stealing the finishes from the sides of Team Marcos Gaming. Right now, just have to satisfy themselves with 2 finishes for them, but they got more to do, right?
Absolutely. No, Marcus, they have to regroup as well. They have to make sure that, they stick together, because everybody are rushing to Milta. They want to find the hard cover as quickly as possible so that, they might be playing for placement points. Now, the question is going to be this: who has the maximum number of loot? Because if you have the right kind of resources, you will be able to sustain this game. The more you get tagged, the more resources you burn, you need to have those in your bag as well. So let's see how that is going to turn out. As for now, Marcus Gaming, I've got 2 early kills, which we saw in the beginning itself. Yuva was the person who put down a player of REG with his UMP, but this time it looks like someone else is going to be stealing their kills. But I know that the teams which are already present inside Milta will know the locations of their enemy teammates, so they'll be wanting somebody to come and crash into them and probably try to third party as well. Revenge on the other side, after losing Shark, with 3 men standing, they are playing as passive as possible. Now, they have to watch out for 8-bit, who was pretty much close to them. I know that 8-bit have taken a rotation from Novo through the bridges, somehow made it inside the Milta area, but in case they were getting tagged, then that could have been a very bad story. Now, Team X-Park inside the circle, a good thing to see. Let's see whether they'll be playing for placement points.
I doubt they will be. I mean, we know, right? The sides of Team Xbox is really aggressive team. They
Absolutely.
just go ham on their enemies. They just don't care about what position it is. They just go ham on their enemies. They just cover them up with all sides, and it's done. So that's the way Team Xbox performs. But eventually, they just need to rackle up as many points for themselves. They need to be really careful. On the other hand, you talk about Team Nugget. Well, they just stole one kill right now from the sides of Team Marcos Gaming. Right now, they are just working with an inner wall cover, but that is not the case for the team of Skylightz Gaming. They are into a complete open area right now, and that is something that can be really difficult for them.
Absolutely. Now, the northern side of the map is the point of concern. Now, headhunters are coming in. They know that nobody's going to backstab them, right? So, they'll be trying to concentrate their firepower right in front of the team in front of them. We can see that UDOG is already paying the price for it. Now, Skylightz Gaming is pushed away from there. Now, the best spot in the house obviously held by the side of headhunters only and only if the zone is going to favor them. Now, we can see that the side of Team TM, that's going to be Team Mayavi, is coming in from the southern side of the map. The zone is shifted away from the waters. Now, high ridge advantage obviously going towards the side of headhunters. They have to hold on to that position, not come out in the open, not give up the horizon, their heads out through the horizons. They might get taken down, but on the other side, look at how the side of Team Xbox is playing over here. They're not risking. They're risking a lot, but at the same time, they're not risking losing any players, and that's a very good thing to see. With one kill already in their name, they know the location of many players. They have the zone in their favor. Probably the zone is going to favor them a little more. Now we have to see Mayavi playing to play mind games, removing the vehicles and allowing people to come on their foot. Now we have to see how much of advantage that is going to help out for the side of Team Xbox.
I do feel like, yes, it can give an advantage. I mean, right, when you are traveling to a complete open area, it can cause you a lot of problems. But I do feel like somewhere deep down, it can cause a problem as well. So, yeah, it's just the patience that we need to have right now to see what's going to happen next. But talking about the sides of Team Reckoning right now, I mean, they're just holding the shack down there. If that is the case, this can cause a problem. You know that, right? A grenade entering that shack can just cause so many problems. But overall, with this board view, we get to know that these teams do have great inner wall covers to work around with, and eventually after the next upcoming zone shift, if it is to a complete open area, it can cause a lot more of migration problem there and there.
Absolutely. The higher ground advantage towards the side of Milta, not being held by anybody. Team Xbox for the first time have the zone favoring them. They do not need to move anywhere else. They have a very open ground in front of them, so they can tag out people. Anybody tries to come in. Now, REG on the other side, they do not have any finishes in their name, so they have to make sure that they survive better. But it seems like they're revealing their location, trying to tag out the side of Skylightz Gaming. Now, the shots will be heard by anybody around them as well. Team Mayavi on the other side will have some grenades being cooked on their face from the side of Team 8-bit. A push probably might be coming in from the side of Team 8-bit as well. The sandwich position is what Team 8-bit is holding at this point of time. I just hope that nobody's going to backstab them, because if somebody comes in, now Team 8-bit can be in a lot of trouble. Now Team 8-bit holding a very good spot to the center of the map, or probably the worst spot for a team to be at this point of time. Let's see how the game is going to turn around for them.
Just waiting to see just what happens next. The door is open, and right, even if your feet are visible here, it can cause you a lot of problems. And
the pixels, yes.
Yeah, exactly. The pixels. I mean, even one pixel of your head can just get you go down to your knees, and that's something that is really difficult for this player with the upcoming zone shift. Well, it's really interesting to watch what these players have to do next to serve us. But right now, Team Xbox, Team Mayavi on the other hand, I'm just talking about them right now. Team Mayavi on the other hand, I mean, I don't need to really realize what's going wrong with this entire team. The first day they were being really passive. The second day, out of blues, they just came, they just conquered the battlefields, and at the third day, eventually this performance is just lacking behind. I mean, the level of consistency that we need is not something that we are being able to see lately.
Absolutely. Now, I was speaking about the position where 8-bit can be vulnerable, right? This is going to be visible on our screens. Now, we can see in a small map that 8-bit might have a chance of 2-3 teams actually tagging them out. We can see that Team Nuggets have already come in. They know that, there is 8-bit right in front of them. Raid is cooking a grenade. If that grenade connects, it's going to be more better. And Raid grenade does get connected. Nugget gets taken down and also gets destroyed. And that could be the beginning of the end for the side of Nugget, where they had an advantage to strike against the side of Team 8-bit. It's not gone in their favor, but at the same time, Team Forever got sandwiched, but the best spot still being held from the side of Team X-Pac. We have to see whether they can do wonders over here. Skylightz Gaming on the other side, they've got the right kind of building. They've got the 3-story building where they have a bird eye view as well. REG on the other side will have to come out in the open. We know that they were trying to tag out the side of Skylightz Gaming once the zone is gone away from them. Now they have come to a position where all they have to do is give their life towards the side of Skylightz Gaming, and that is going to be the only way for them to make it inside the circle or probably out of this game.
I do believe that right now this game is just turning out to be something different. We do have multiple fights happening all the way down, but there you go. One more pick, one more important pick. Final boss has to depart. Well, he will be eliminated completely there and there. Team 8-bit, well, I do agree with you, Arka, on that point that yes, this team can cause a lot of problems for other teams, but eventually if get caught off guard, that will be a real threat for their life as well. On the other hand, you talk about Team X-Pac. Right now, they are getting themselves into a fight with the sides of Team Enigma with some grenades. Well, I guess they are not really up with the information, but 8-bit Raid, well, that's done and dusted for Raid as well. It's just going to be two surviving player, Madman and his teammate Mayavi with that grenade will be taking Enigma Shaggy down there, and that's 4 finishes for the sides of Team X-Pac. Right now looking good with position, looking good with finishes as well. If they continue to do, oh man, look at that, 2 players just going ham. Yes. Yeah, exactly, 2 players going ham, 2 players just waiting behind.
Absolutely. Now the zone is still gonna favor it out. It looks like Mayavi is back again, trying to, his brain is like a hacking machine when it comes to the zones, and he's predicting absolutely perfect. He's gonna be close to the zone, but all they have to do is watch out for the side of Team Hyderabad Hydras from the northern side. In case they tag them out, they restrict them from coming into the circle. It's gonna be a very, very easy winner chicken dinner, but at the same time, the grenades are doing the job. In the map of Erangel, the new meta has come in, as I would like to say, because the grenades are doing most of the job. Now, Barosarak on the other side is absolutely playing like a charm towards the side of Mayavi. Mayavi is a person who needs the right kind of backup. It looks like they're doing it. As I was speaking about how they have to restrict headhunters into the circle, it looks like they're doing the right thing over here. Now we all know that they have a very good hard cover, due to which they can take advantage of the whole game in their favor. Viru on the other side have to look out for the team in front of them. If we can restrict them for a brief period of time, that is going to be the side of Team Mayavi. Then I do believe that Team X-Pac have a very good chance. Now Team Mayavi on the other side, they're at the center of the circle. They can see everybody in front of them, but not the side of Team X-Pac. It's going to be the side of Hyderabad Hydras trying to push in. RGE on the other side, the last man standing, is also trying to come in. Manti gets taken down. Now we have to see whether, he's going to be confirmed as well. Pukar on the other side puts an end for the side of Team REG. Viru gets taken down. Not the right kind of thing for the side of Team X-Pac. Now immediately Viru has to be picked up before Mayavi tries to rush in towards them, or probably the side of Team Hyderabad Hydras. The lot of smokes being carried from the side of Mayavi is going to help them out, restrict the view of the opponents. Now it's going to be hard for them to get away from the crosshairs of Mayavi, as he's going to be striking more than one at this point of time and picking up as many kills as possible.
He is just trying his level best to cut the rotation that Team HH is carrying forward. Right now, you do have the sides of Barosarak as well. He'll be just trying his level best, but Viru is down to the ground. He needs to be revived back to his life, and that's going to be the most important thing. Right now, if you're all in all, so players are surviving, you can do miracles in this map, and that's what Team X-Pac is, just concentrating on right now. But on the other hand, you talk about Striker FW. Well, he's really caught off guard by Gomlimon, and he will just down to the ground. Ace Black, the last surviving player, is into a lot more of difficulties with n number of responsibilities onto his shoulder there. Just reviving, eventually going for a fight. There's n number of things happening, but there you go, carried down to the ground, and
nice,
Mayavi. A surprising factor. There you go, Hyderabad Hydras. Well, that's done and dusted. Team X-Pac looking the most beautiful and aggressive team right now.
Absolutely. Now, I want you to remember this point. I want the viewers to remember this point where Team X-Pac are holding that small ridge next to the building, right? So, this is the most important thing for you. Once you know a terrain really well and you allow your enemies to come into that terrain, you can actually take them and decimate them completely. Now, Tactical also gets eliminated from the hands of Team X-Pac. Now, we have to see whether Team X-Pac will be on the verge. We all know that by now, the fans of Team X-Pac is going to be bonkers on the chat, as Mayavi is left out with just 2 more players. This is the only team which has 4 men standing. So the rest of the teams have just 2 or maximum 3 players at this point of time. Now Nexus really far away. He's trying to be the last ray of hope for the team. I know that Mayavi on the other side has a lot of job to do as well. But all these things said and done. Now Viru is cooking up a grenade, trying to clear out. It's just the thought where there could be a player over there, but we all know that there can't be a player because ultimately they have to count the number of players alive. So yes, talking about the ridge, the game which was happening at the ridge. Now team Mavi knew that those ridges is going to be the place where people can be hiding. So eventually what did he do? He allowed for that side of team Hyderabad Hydras to come near that ridge. Then after that, grenades and crosses perfectly placed, and that was the end of the story for the side of team HH.
The God IGL. I mean, the God IGL is what people to love to call him. But talking about what's happening right now, look at Nexus. He is just being a snake right now, not giving his position. Just come out of a surprise, come out of nowhere and give a big surprise to the player of Skylightz Gaming there. So, I mean, the 5th player, his location can be compromised at any moment. And if that eventually happens, he needs to be really careful of that. But audience, letting you guys know once again before it gets more intense, switch on to Loco if you haven't yet. We will be switching to Loco any moment after this match. On the other side, you talk about team X-Park Viru. He will be holding that position. So goes to the sides of Nexus and as well as Skylightz Gaming 5th player. No, please. What is gonna happen next? Nexus is just being so patient right now. I mean, you need to be, but if you test my patience like this, I am. Oh my God!
Trigger discipline.
Oh my God!
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Nexus just doesn't want to compromise.
Oh no!
There you go. They both have been caught by Team X-Park. Mavi, the God IGL himself, will make sure to take them down. Barosarak, the last surviving player. Team X-Park have the probability chances of getting this chicken dinner for themselves. Will that be possible? Team Mayavi versus Team X-Park is what we have right now. Joker is down to the ground. Manya there is waiting patiently. He is just trying to scout for as much information as he can. It's a nail-biting moment for both of the team. The fans are just so excited. And with that grenade, no, Barosara can be caught off guard, but that grenade is not gonna get any kind of connection. We casters, you audience, everyone is excited to know of what exactly is going to happen next.
Absolutely, but you can stop a lion, not a pack of lions, At this point of time, we are able to see a herd of lions, to be specific. Now we are able to see that the side of Team X-Park, as I was always saying, Team X-Park, stick together, prioritize the zone, and easy winner chicken dinner for you guys. It's pretty much visible. They have proved it right at this point of time. No matter how much information they're going to gain, the crosshairs are going to be going to one corner where they'll find the last player over here. They're going to ruthlessly confirm him and get that winner chicken dinner. This could be the first one going into their favor, or probably the first one for the day for the side of Team X-Park. A lot of fans are going to be busting it out. If you guys want to continue watching this, such a good gameplay coming in from the side of X-Park, you guys have to move into Loco, because any second soon we'll also be joining you over there.
What a match. What a match it has been. Team X-Park, I mean, we and Raider a while ago were really having this discussion of this team going aggressive over their enemies, but is not able to get the amount of position points needed. But look, out of nowhere into the blues, this team came up with so good chicken dinner for themselves. I mean, the delicious ones, you know, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I just hope that I could also be a part of this team and, try to be that invisible force, because ultimately we have been saying that Mayavi, yesterday I do remember that, me and Raider were having a talk and we were like, Mayavi is not predicting the zones properly. Probably the IGL is not taking the right decision. But ultimately he has proved everybody wrong today, right? From the get-go itself, he prioritized the zone in such a way, he held a position in such a way that the zone was absolutely over there, pinpoint location. And with all 4 men standing, it was a very, very good gameplay. But for me, the team which also had a very good chance would be the side of Hyderabad Hydras. Like, they had height advantage. They stood there for a really long time, which was unnecessary. If they'd taken a rotation, come down from that ridge, tried to take down other people, probably they would have had kill points in the name or finish points in the name rather than position points. I know that they were trying to play for position points, but late into the 5th circle, when you come in and where every other team knows the terrain really well, that is going to be the case for you. You're going to get decimated with just one grenade or probably one good spray.
It's like it's now or never, right?
Absolutely.
It's just like now or never. You do have many thoughts going into your head, like shall we do it now, shall we do it now, but it's now or never. You do it or you don't do it at all. That's just all I can say about that. But the way this match has been, man oh man, some moments were like nail biting. I mean, the last fight, the last fight between Team Mayavi and
Yep.
Team X Park, man oh man, and eventually the god IGL himself, Mavi. I mean, what a beautiful way of predicting the zone. You just go to that map and you every time see this team inside the zone. What a beautiful zone prediction it was.
Absolutely. But for me, late rotations, there were teams who tried to play in for a
Yeah.
late rotation. Yeah. No, let's not forget the position of 8-bit in this game. From this coming in from the side of Novo, they came in late into the side of Milta. But at one point of time, they came and stood in a place which was so bad for them that they got assaulted from all nook and corners. Just imagine if they'd made it a little more inside the circle, probably trying to get some hard cover or probably take the position which Team Mayavi was holding, because Team Mayavi, I know from the beginning, were behind the ridges from a long time. Even before they could secure that area, 8-bit had a chance to go in and grab those positions. But, Mayavis didn't choose to do it. So ultimately, they had to pay the price for it. But right now, when we look at the highlights, we'll be able to see that Yuva was the person who started off on a very, very good note for the team. But this fight between the side of Blind as well as Team OGs, where all of a sudden UDOG comes into picture, even though, Team OG was having a very good time, UDOG comes in, decimates the side of UDOG, and then gives an opportunity for Blind to pick up one more position points, probably better than the side of Team OGs. But ultimately, the hard work of Yuva being stolen from the side of Team, probably it was Tactical who stole the kill, or
Yeah, exactly. It was tactical. It was tactical.
yeah, they stole the kill. And coming in, see, this was the point where everything could have gone in towards the side of Team Skylightz as well. So the zone started to take a shift away from them. There was Team Mayavi already coming into the circle. We have been telling that God IGL Mavi was able to predict the zone perfectly and all those things. But let's not forget that Team Mayavi's IGL has also done the same kind of job.
Exactly.
He's held that team inside for a really long time. But Nexus over here, one good kill point, finish point was in front of him. He did not choose to do so, due to which he'll be really sad that he did not get it.
Exactly. Being sad is the only thing right now. I mean, you just can't undo anything that has been done in this entire map of Erangel. But somewhere deep down, even eventually, I'd like to highlight one more point for the sides of Team Orangutan right now. I mean, I do find them really good on one match, but the other match, it's a huge fall for them. Somewhere it goes same for the sides of Team Mayavi as well. A match that's really good for them, huge one for
Yep.
them. But eventually the second map comes in and it's a downfall. I mean, I don't know the specific reason of these things happening, but yeah, there are n number of small mistakes that we eventually catch every day, right?
Yeah, so probably what we can put it like this also. This team was trying to experiment with things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When things were going in their way, they didn't want to stick on to the same thing. They know that the final 10 matches are going to be the crucial ones. So probably the final day is going to be the most crucial one. So they would have experimented and seen what could be going better in which game. So ultimately, they would have come to a conclusion that the first wave, or the first when we started to play the tournament itself, that has been working out. So the final day, we're going to execute that. But until then, let's try to execute something else. Or there could be the synergy, missing out between the players. Once a player gets taken down, we all know that now the game has come to such an extent. You get down on your knees, you're going to be finished as quickly as possible, because the opponents wants those finish points, and that is what they'll be aiming at. So ultimately, when you're on your knees, it's important for your teams to give the right kind of cover fire. So with no proper synergy, with no proper cover fire coming in from your teammates, obviously you will be losing players, and due to which, without the man advantage when it comes to the final circles, it's inevitable for you to get decimated when it comes to the overall map itself.
It's just all about trust, right? You are
Absolutely.
sitting beside someone whom you really trust, then I guess there's nothing.
It's a question of
nothing
life
to
and
it.
death.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly.
trust comes into play.
Trust comes into that, right? So definitely, what is done, it is done. But what's the biggest point right now? It's just 1 day left now. I mean,
Yeah.
last three maps, last three or two maps more, and last day. That's all that we got. That's all that these players have got right. And eventually, if they are not able to do that today itself, I mean, doing that tomorrow is not something that's going to work out for them.
Absolutely. I agree on this point. Like, do the heavy lifting on the first day itself so that in the final days you can just go for an average of 5 or 6 points and you won't be disappointed that we lost this tournament with just 1 pointer. And we're able to see that the teams on the top are actually doing it. The difference from the eighth position is something to watch out for. But above that, everybody knew that, we had to play from the get go. They did play from the get go, especially the side of Orangutan. We have been seeing that, they have been consistent, tried to survive until the final circle or probably be in the top 5 in every single map, whereas the side of Team Entity, when it comes to the map of Miramar, they become the beast, they become the conquerors of Miramar. Every single time they're there, they aim for that winner chicken dinner, somehow attain more than one when it comes to the map of Miramar. So they know that on an average in 6 maps, when we have 3 Erangel and 3 when we have 3 Erangel and 3 Miramar, you need to concentrate on which is your favorite map. Probably it was the map of Miramar they're strong at, so they'll concentrate on doing that, whereas the other 3 maps they'll be trying to play for an average. So let's see how that is going to turn out for the teams like Entity. But yeah, ultimately the next map is going to be coming in on Loco, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget to switch over there, because that's going to be the most important thing.
Important, very important. Trust me, very important right now. I mean, what are we left with more? 3 matches for the day, 6 for tomorrow. That's done.
Absolutely.
This
9 more,
is
9 more.
yeah. It's like a countdown of 10 going on right now, and eventually after this you have nothing but just a regret to work around. I mean, yes, you do learn n number of things. You do really learn n number of things. But one more thing that I really like to highlight here is these teams, we have been seeing them performing since a long time. Well, talking about performance, let's just have a quick look on what this map was exactly like. Team X Park getting the delicious and a much needed chicken dinner for themselves with a total of
26 points. My goodness.
Huge difference. This will make them jump at least 2 or 3 position further.
Absolutely. You just nailed that sentence. Not only that, it's going to boost their confidence in such a way from here on. They're just going to concentrate on decimating squads and, trying to get more than 10 finishes and probably pick up at least 1 or 2 more winner chicken dinner, and slowly they'll be making it into the top 10. Right behind them is going to be Team Mayavi. Play for position points. Because of the position they were holding, they could get 8 finishes in the name. A very good gameplay. Team Forever, who could have got another finish point in the name. It's just that, they did not choose to do so. They were just the trigger discipline, even though they had it in their favor. I don't know how come, he did not go for the kill. But ultimately, Skylightz Gaming, even they've got 13 points for themselves. Tactical on the other side with just 1 finish points. It's going to be Tactical, Marcos. These are the teams playing for placement points. So that's pretty much visible. But 8-bit on the other side, due to a little bit of a mistake on a clash when it comes to rotation, they had to restrict and have 5 finishes in the name. Hyderabad Hydras on the other side, high ground advantage, where we all thought that they can make it into the top 3. They got decimated from the side of Team X Park, goes down in the 8th position with just 1 finish point. Revenge on the other side, because of the finishes they have, 5 points for themselves.
Definitely. After looking at the standings, I do feel like so much has happened in this map, right? I mean, we had our eyes on the fights happening. We tried to cover as much as we can, but it's so much left behind as well. The rotations, the rotational clashes, and so many things. But yeah, the upcoming map is going to be the map of Miramar once again. And I mean, I really am just really very excited to know what this map is going to be like. The previous Miramar was really amazing. At the beginning stages, everything is just at a piece. But when you look forward, when you just come to the next zone, it's like, no, please, just take one fight at a single moment. We need to cover each and every one, right?
Absolutely. I mean, see, from now on, the chaos is going to be serious. The chaos is going to be real, because we all know that, now things can get a little bit different when it comes to the overall game. Yes, I know that, it's time for us to take a short break at this point of time. Probably we'll come and see you guys on the other side. But remember this, that we're going to be coming in on Loco before we step into the break. Darshit, do you have anything to say to the viewers?
Just get your energy drinks, get that energy back after watching 3 matches. Eventually we are going to do that as soon as the break is all set. We are just going to get some energy drinks and get ourselves completely ready for the last 3
Pace
matches
of the
for
day.
Miramar, Erangel.
on top. I'm ready to go. Feeling like a million eyes on me. I'm unstoppable. If you go against me, then you better compete. Yeah, yeah. Why you keep knocking at my door? Came to fight, yeah, that means war. Gotta level up, wanna settle the score. Yeah, feels a lot better than it did before. What you brand new, yeah, it's time to go pro. Go beast mode, better find a cheat code. On my throne, now I'm in my zone. Man, it looks better than it did before. I said if play don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game, hey now, and let the whole world watch. I said if play don't stop, just keep it going, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game. Go ahead, let them talk. Don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. I'm ready to go. Feeling like a million eyes on me. I'm unstoppable. If you go against me, then you better compete. Yeah, yeah. Why you keep knocking at my door? Came to fight, yeah, that means war. Gotta level up, wanna settle the score. Yeah, feels a lot better than it did before. What you brand new, yeah, it's time to go pro. Go beast mode, better find a cheat code. On my throne, now I'm in my zone. Man, it looks better than it did before. I said if play don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game, hey now, and let the whole world watch. I said if play don't stop, just keep it going, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game. Go ahead, let them talk.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AMD presents Sky Esports Grand Slam with gaming partner Logitech, and our broadcasting partner is going to be Loco. We are exclusively on Loco as we said earlier, but of course this is the semi-finale. Day number 4 is going to be there. My name is Raider, along with me is going to be Darshita for throughout the match right now. So let's see how the fights are going to be, and how are you Darshita about after the break, I guess?
Fully energetic right now.
Great.
Complete. I just had a energy drink. I'm like the way these matches are going. I do need to have one energy drink. So yeah, completely full with energy and just so excited to see what happens. Like eventually, yes, the next map is will be on our screen really soon. But there you go, the overall rankings. Orangutan once again leading the charts with an amazing balance between position and finish points. That's a total of 188 for them.
Oh wow, Orangutan, after finishing 14 matches, they have got 188 points. They have maintained a great distance from Team Entity. That's said and done, but eventually only 13 more points. I guess that's only 15 more points for Team Entity to gain, and eventually they could easily do that. But let's see how the fights are going to be. Let's see how the gun game is going to initiate. And Orangutan being the only team having securing 3 winner chicken dinner, it's actually very amazing to watch. But then if I talk about teams like Celsius Esports, they're unable to get any victory into the perspective of day number 4, day number 3. But yeah, they have got some good points in terms of position. They were unable to show their aggressive sides because yes, let me tell you, Celsius is also one of those teams which have actually shown their aggressive end a lot. But eventually, if I talk about team Mayavi climbing up from hashtag 6 to hashtag 4, that's going to be interesting. 147 points for them. Team 8-bit, meanwhile securing 2 winner chicken dinners, maintaining a consistency between finishes and position. That's going to be 74 and 70 respectively. 144 points for them. Team Nugget getting 133. Team Reckoning Esports getting 127. And if I'm not wrong, that's the hashtag from 9 to hashtag 16 leaderboard is here right now in front of you guys. So from Enigma, the chart is going to start and it is going to end towards Revenge Esports. But look at that. Darshita, can you see Team X Park in the leaderboard?
Well, yes, that's what I just said a while ago. You know, me and Arka were having a discussion about the same, that the chicken dinner, the victory that Team X-Park got for themselves will just give them a huge jump on the leaderboard, and that's happening. You see Team X-Park on the 14th position with a total of 96, and it's just a gap of 1 or 2 good matches that can bring them into the top 10 positions, right?
Of course. Look at the number of points they have got at this moment. 96 points for them. And look at the hashtag 9 teams position points. At this moment, they have got 118 points in total and 96 points is at X-Park. So I guess there is just one more good map coming up for Team X-Park, and then they will be in the top 9, top 10 leaderboard. There could be some good casualties coming up from Team X-Park. In the last match, we saw the idling skills of Mayavi and the fragging power of, let's say, that was Gomle1, if I'm not wrong, Scout. He was also trying to retaliate a lot. Eventually, Hyderabad Hydras were decimated by the hands of Team X-Park, but they are lacking behind with only 1 point at this moment. Eventually, Team Revenge Esports at the same stats. But eventually, if I talk about from hashtag 17 to hashtag 24, are Esports remaining and chilling at hashtag 24, I guess it's going to be very bad for the team if eventually they are not going to perform. UDOG Esports also remaining at 41 points still. OR Esports still maintaining the same consistency, 43 points for them. Team Revenant, 56 points. Marcos Gaming, 69 points. Tactical and Blind eventually with 74 and 76 respectively. Team Forever maintaining their position at hashtag 17 with only 90 points at this moment.
It is really looking difficult for all these teams, you know, Raider. Right now, it's just last 3 maps left.
Yeah.
Eventually, these teams do not perform on these 3 maps. It's done for them. You see the huge difference. It's like 30 points that our esports has, and a total of 183, if I'm not wrong, for Orangutan there. That's a total of 150 difference points. I mean, can you imagine covering up these points in just 1.5 day left? That's going to be really impossible. I do not even aim forward or tell to be on that hashtag 1 for the leaderboard, but eventually you have to qualify. You have to be in the top 10 positions to qualify, and if you are not even to nearby that, that's done, right? That's done.
Indeed.
Right?
But just like that, we have 2 teams at hashtag 19 and 20 getting a winner chicken dinner eventually, but not securing those more position points. Those consistency is not there, because we have been actually emphasizing on that point that consistency is basically the key of success at this point in the Grand Slam or any other tournament which is going to be there by Sky Esports. So of course, guys, you have to be consistent. Of course, the battle is going to be there, and in Grand Finale, of course, the consistency should be there. But the teams which are going to qualify are going to be consistent one. But yeah, you can see that we have our esports still on the bottom of the list, OR Esports and UDOG Esports. Well, these 3 teams have to do a lot of stuff at this point, because only 9 maps are there right now, and eventually out of those 9 maps, I don't think all of the 9 maps are going to be played by these teams. Some maps are going to be left for some other groups. Yeah. Then we have the schedule coming up. In match number 1, we had Orangutan raiding the party. Then in match number 2, we had, I guess, Team Enigma getting that winner chicken dinner. Match 3, of course, X-Park win the match. X-Park did the jump. And then eventually, after a short break, we are back with match number 4. That's going to be the map of Miramar. Group A and B are going to fight it out in the map of Miramar. So let me tell you a little bit about the whole situation coming up. I guess Group A is going to get you Team Revenant, Exo, Rivalry, R Esports, Celsius Esports, OR Esports, Entity Gaming, Insane Esports. Group B will be presented with Team Xpark, Hyderabad Hydras, Reckoning Esports, UDOG Esports, Orangutan, Blind Revenge, and Mayavi will be there. So guys, and Darshita, specifically from you, I want to ask that, is it going to be a same consistent performance from Team Xpark and Hyderabad Hydras or not?
I do believe they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, right? The moment of the level of confidence you get when you get that one chicken dinner is just amazing. And
Indeed.
eventually, Team Xpark got this victory in the previous map of Erangel with amazing finishes. It was not just a chicken dinner, but a victory with n number of finishes for themselves. They
Indeed.
got a great jump as well. So eventually, yes, I expecting a lot from the sides of Team Xpark, Team Hyderabad Hydras, Team Mayavi as well. I mean, we have seen, we know this team since a long time now. We know this team just goes ham to their enemies. They just train hell on their enemies. But right now, these 2 days have really not been good to them. Today, eventually, if these remaining 3 maps, Team Mayavi has got still 2 more maps to play. That's going to be Erangel. Both Erangel is what Team Mayavi is got to do with, and eventually if they are able to perform today, I mean, yeah, it can be a chance of comeback for Team Mayavi as well. I mean, yes, they are holding a great position in the top 10 right now. Eventually it will just get better, right?
Yeah, you have to get better eventually, because teams like, let's say, Orangutan already leading the chart, NTT Gaming already leading the charts, or not letting you to come onto their location. So you have to get more and more enthusiasm. You have to muster all the courage you have. And teams like Mayavi has to gain more and more pace. Teams like 8-Bit has to gain more and more pace, because teams in the lower areas are gaining the pace. You can see Team Xpark was nowhere to be seen into the leaderboard if we talk about the previous 3 days. But now Xpark is in the position #14. Mayavi is at #4. Team 8-Bit is also coming very sharply. And if I'm not wrong, another qualified team, UDOG India, is also trying to be at their best. Team Hyderabad Hydras are also climbing slowly but steadily. So I guess these teams are going to put a strong competition in the table toppers. And teams like Insane Esports, teams like, let's say, Revenge Esports, which are at #9 and 10, they are going to get contested a lot. Teams like Enigma Gaming, well, they got that charm into them, they got the fight into them, they got that, let's say, aggression into them. But eventually these teams like Xpark, teams like, let's say, Revenge Esports, teams like UDOG India, well, they are gaining a lot of pace, and there is no time when they are going to climb that leaderboard. So of course, now it's the time, it's the do or die moment. We have been saying that from the start of day number 4, and we are going to emphasize it till the end, because it's do or die time. 9 more maps, 9 more Carnageous maps are going to be there, and the leaderboard will show you the top 10 teams which are going to be qualified for the grand finale.
Absolutely, yes. Well, before we head ourselves towards the 4th map for the day, I would really like to inform the audience for the last time that Loco is on the way. Loco is on the way. So make sure you all guys go to Play Store, download the Loco app as soon as possible. And eventually, if you are watching us on Loco, make sure you share this big information with your friends as well, that the last 3 maps will be broadcasted on Loco itself. So make sure that you guys have the Loco downloaded so that you don't miss these amazing actions happening. Well, talking about the next map, do you have any kind of expectations from this map? Like any fly path, any play zone? I mean, I do ask it frequently. I do ask it before going to desk, but that's interesting to ask, right? That's just interesting. It's just amazing when you say something and that happens. I mean, who knows that better than?
Yeah. I would like better than you, of course, because the vehicle bursts are there. Of course, the traditional fights are going to be there right now. But I guess the flight path is going to start from, let's say, western end, but it is going to the southern end. Let's see how the casualties are going to build from that location. I want to see that Los Lunas wala path, but let's see how the casualties are going to build. Of course, it's going to be there. I think it's going to be there, because all thanks to you.
I do feel like, why Los Leones again and again? I've been repeating myself frequently on this, but why Los Leones again and again? But there you go, the next map of Miramar is all set to your screens, and with this we do welcome back Arka to the desk. Arka, before you say anything, do you want Los Leones, yes or no?
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm done with Los Leones. I've been looking at that from a really, really long time. I know that, eventually these players are going to have the same kind of thing. But now, let's look at the, I know that, the match might get restarted because of some technical issues. But ultimately, yeah, let's talk about this one small point system, which needs to be reminded for everybody, how these teams can actually make it to the top of the table. All they have to do is concentrate on securing the first place. That's going to be 15 points for you, because because we could see, right, even in the previous game when we saw that, Team X Park, after they received that winner chicken dinner for themselves, they were able to come back with 26 points, and all thanks to that bigger pointer of 15 points for themselves. Yeah, so coming back to your question, do you want Los Leones? I think it's better we throw it at the audience and ask them, do you want a zone at Los Leones? Because we have been seeing them from a really, really long time in the map of Miramar, and we all know that there are only one or two teams, probably the side of Entity as well, which have learnt it really well. So they are looking forward for something else again and again, so that it's going to be easy for them.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But yes, I mean, it was just a small ray of hope that we got a while ago with the map starting, but eventually that was just snatched away from us. Please don't do this to us once again. We'll be really sad. But anyway, soon the map will be all set to your screens really very soon. It's just some glitches happening all around. They do happen again and again. So yeah, it's just part of the game. The map will be soon on your screens. Miramar, it's a huge open map with the complete spread all over, and the only thing you need to concentrate is the rich gameplay being played, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, one more most important thing, Darshita, which might, I might take you away from, is going to be the point that, the performance of Entity, no matter where they play when it comes to the map of Miramar, right? So we all know that Orangutan is still trying to maintain that momentum, still trying to hold the top position on the table, right? But Entity, in case they perform really well and get a dinner for themselves, I think they'll be coming to the top of the table. Yeah. So dunes and the hilly areas and the height advantage, everything coming into play in the map of Miramar. One spot for you to look out for, or one spot according to you where you do not want to be in the map of Miramar.
Do not.
Yeah.
Do I need to answer that? I mean, after being really away from Los Leones, do you really think I need to be answering that question again and again? But
probably.
yeah, away from all that, away from Los Leones, if you ask me for one more thing, it's gonna be the town areas of Los Higos and all those places that I eventually wanted the map to be like. But I guess the map is all set. I mean, I don't. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
I don't know. I just hope that, since you and me started to curse Los Leones coming on the flight path, the whole thing got glitched, the whole thing got, varied, and now they have to restart the whole map probably. Just imagine again it comes on Los Leones. I think we are going to go bonkers over here sitting on the desk. We'll be praying that it doesn't happen whatsoever. I want a complete northern shift when it comes to the zone. I want something to happen at Campo on the northeastern side of the map, which has a lot of open fields, as well as it has a very few hardcover for itself, so that kind of a fight is something I'll be looking forward for. But at the same time, the point differences seems to be very now. From the 8th position to the 9th in the previous game, it was almost 2-3 points. Now that has crossed over 10 points. So it's a very good catch up over there. But ultimately, what do you have to say about Team Xbox, jump from, attaining from probably they were in the 22nd or the 19th position, and now they jumped up to the side of 14th position. What do you have to say about that?
All I can say is this is what one good map does to you, right? Not just one
Absolutely.
map, but one good map. And see this, right? You just see they are doing really good. On the other hand, Team Orangutan, they are being so consistent on their performance. I mean, we talk about it, right? The day one, you carry everything really well. What Team Orangutan did, the next days you get to chill around with. You need to, you just need to rackle up few points to maintain the consistency. But that's done. Team Orangutan, the total of 188. But what's more surprising is the balance between the position and the finishes. Look at this: 96 for finishes, 92 for position. What more do you need?
Yeah, I think that they're going to continue maintaining this consistency again, right? So for example, now let's look at what's happening on the screen, right? So Skylightz Gaming on the other end, 62-63. So they are having a very good balance, but Reckoning Esports on the other side, 81 position points. So if they continue to pick up more what do you say, if more kills is what they can find, I think they can do a better job. But yes, coming back to the side of Team Xpark, 55 finishes and 41 placement points, lesser than most of the teams over here when it comes to position points. Just imagine if they pick up the pace for one more game and they come from 96 to 20 more points in the next game, they will be on the 11th position. And when they come to that 11th position, I know there is no stopping them to get into the top 10, or probably by the end of the semi-finale to the top 5. So those who are wanting to know how is things, what's going to happen, the final 3 maps of the day is going to be there, and after that tomorrow is going to be the final of the semi-finals itself.
The last day. I mean, you just say it's the last day, and you feel like what is going to happen. You just don't have any kind of patience left behind to wait. But talking about all those teams on the third side, which will be onto your screens really very soon. I'm really scared for them right now. These teams from team 19 to 16, they do have a chance to qualify or to get disqualified. It goes both ways, right? One good match gets you qualified, but one bad match just makes you fall down, and the points difference between these teams will eventually make that happen. But as I was talking about the sides of team 17 to 14, I really feel like it's going to be difficult for them to just go up to top 10.
Yeah, but at the same time, somewhere I feel that it's not going to be that hard also, because 90 points is what we could see at the 18th position, right? So to the 10th position, oh my goodness. I don't think so I need to continue speaking about the points, but rather on a sad note say that the flight path is still going to continue on Los Leones, starting off from the side of probably somewhere to the northern side of Vela, and then it's going to be ending at Porto. So it's going to be a very southern map. Those teams which had plans of going towards the side of northern side of the map, to San Martin or probably Campo or probably Al-Azhar, they're going to have a very, very tough choice to do. That is going to be flying as far as possible, pick up vehicles, go loot, carry some good kind of gas cans for yourself, or else I don't think so you guys will be making it